This is just an introductory step, or a test vote, if you will, that the Senate is set to take tomorrow to see whether or not Republicans and Democrats are willing to come to the table to try to move the ball forward here in terms of trying to find an off-ramp for the shutdown. So still a ways to go, but there's some movement.
If nothing budges, the president's been pushing to get rid of the filibuster. But Republican Senator Josh Hawley says,
if you're going to tell me I have to choose between helping people eat or defending the rules of the Senate, I'm going to choose people eating.
Meanwhile, a judge ruled the administration must pay full SNAP benefits for November. You planning on flying somewhere this weekend? It could be super stressful, as the FAA may cancel thousands of flights due to staffing shortages. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
So you've had surging sick calls, which means the folks that are working are dealing with a higher workload. They also have the stress of not being paid, and they were seeing an uptick in fatigue, so they're bringing down the volume of air traffic.
This just in, the death toll rises to 13 from the UPS cargo plane crash in Louisville. Several people are still missing. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she won't seek re-election.
The 85-year-old California Democrat who has served her district for nearly 40 years was the first and only woman to become Speaker of the House. Although she stepped down from her leadership post 3 years ago, President Trump's animosity toward her remains clear.
I thought she was an evil woman.
Democrats describe Pelosi as a political powerhouse with unmatched influence. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Dallas Cowboys player Marshawn Nealand has died.
The Texas Department of Public Safety says troopers were chasing the 24-year-old Nealand for a traffic violation on the Dallas North Tollway last night, but lost sight of him. Nealand's car was later found abandoned after it had crashed. Troopers found Nealand nearby, dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Nealand was in his second NFL season. Monday night against Arizona, he recovered a blocked punt in the end zone for a Cowboys touchdown. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Well, the holidays are coming, and the 2025 Rockefeller Center Christmas tree is now on its way to New York City. Crews cut down the 75-foot, 11-ton Norway spruce from Judy Ross's home in East Greenbush, about 150 miles away.
My son and I went to visit the tree last year, and that kind of got the wheels turning that maybe we have something big here.
It's going to be decorated with more than 50,000 lights and get all lit up December 3rd. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, flight cuts planned at SeaTac Airport. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks. This report brought to us by AAA. It's quickly getting busy across the map right now. Let's start you with our closure we had up in Linwood, North 5 at the 405 interchange. All lanes are now back open. That collision now has been cleared to the Gore Point. It had all lanes blocked for about 10 minutes, and that's created a really thick backup into Shoreline. Seattle to Linwood right now is going to take you 55 minutes. This will start to improve now that we reopen the freeway. Bellevue to Linwood, in comparison, is just 25 minutes. You're slow from Mid-Bellevue into Bothell. Linwood to Seattle, 35 minutes. You're slow in Linwood, and then it's packed at Lake City Way all the way to the West Seattle Bridge. North 5, you're thick at the Michigan Curve in the downtown. Bellevue to Renton, give yourself 35 minutes. You're heavy at 520 all the way to the VMAC in Renton. Seattle to Federal Way has gone up to 50 minutes. And if you're heading out toward Auburn on eastbound 18, it's bumper to bumper from Weyerhaeuser all the way out to Auburn Black Diamond Road. One of our listeners texted in to let us know that an encampment fire has that right lane blocked by fire crews. That leaves one lane open at the scene. AAA Washington membership unlocks epic roadside rescues, hundreds of local perks and discounts, travel and insurance expertise. Join today. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. If you're flying out of SeaTac Airport, prepare for flight cuts. Starting tomorrow, the FAA plans to reduce traffic by 10%. This traveler telling KIRO 7 TV.
I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. You know, I thank the TSA and I thank everybody else, air traffic control, for doing what they're doing, even though they're not getting paid.
Airlines warn thousands of flights will be affected. Seattle Times reporting at least 12 cancellations at SeaTac tomorrow and more to come. The move aims to ease pressure on air traffic controllers working without pay during the shutdown. A Snohomish County family is suing two popular apps, claiming their teenage daughter was sexually exploited on those platforms. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has that story.
Sarah Beller, an attorney for the 14-year-old victim, says she was groomed by a man posing as a child who met her on Roblox, then moved the conversation to Discord, where he coerced her into sending explicit photos. A scenario Beller says both companies can fix if they wanted to.
They're not telling anyone about the dangers that exist on the platform, which would allow parents to make an informed decision about whether or not to even allow their kids to use these platforms in the first place.
A Discord spokesperson says the platform requires users to be at least 13 and uses several tools to prevent sexual exploitation and grooming. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Governor Bob Ferguson says he spent this week at Western State Hospital, making good on a campaign promise.
I've had a chance to sit down each day with the workers, just conversation with the workers about their experiences, their challenges, what's working, what they'd like to see improved.
He says capacity at the hospital will improve in 2028. That's when a new 350-bed facility on the Western State Hospital campus is expected to open. Seattle Storm made history, naming Sonia Rahman as their new head coach, the first of Indian descent in WNBA history. Rahman tells KIRO 7 TV she's a passionate coach.
And one who is kind of obsessed with how to get better and how to make this team the best that we can possibly be.
Rahman joins the team after serving as a coach with the New York Liberty. She was also an assistant with the Memphis Grizzlies in the NBA. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Just soggy for this afternoon. We'll see downpours at times, coastal flood warning in effect, flash flood watches in effect also in Snohomish County. And tomorrow the rain should start to taper off, and a dry weekend is also setting up. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. This is the John Curley Show on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good afternoon. Tim Gatos in for John Curley today. Hope you're doing well on this beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, my goodness. If there's two words I never want to hear again, atmospheric and river. Oh. And my goodness sakes, we're in the midst of it. But I'm so glad to be with you today. Looking forward to this show. Looking forward to doing this with Joe. And I tell you, we got a great program for you today. There is a lot to look forward to. Coming up next hour, Chris Novoselic, the founder of Nirvana, bassist of Nirvana, will be with us. He just started a new political party called the Cascade Party, which is, the imagery of that is, of course, the Cascades are between Western Washington and Eastern Washington, and so it's that center point of meeting in the middle. And so he's got the centrist heart of being able to dialogue around some of our toughest issues. So that's going to be really interesting. We'll be talking with the founder of Nirvana,
which you say is top 5 all-time ever most influential bands in history.
Top 5. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. It's like, okay, you got Beatles, Zeppelin, maybe the Stones. But Nirvana is top 5. Right,
and I say there's an argument to be made there, but I think that is going to be a contentious list making. But he's also going to be in studio, right?
Yeah, we'll have him in studio. We're going to have a great time. He's a great guy, and has got some amazing wisdom. And I think a lot of people are going to be encouraged by what Chris has to say. Also, John Scholes will be with us later, president of Downtown Seattle Association, and Alex Berenson, longtime New York Times reporter who was the tip of the spear during COVID. In fact, President Biden went after Alex Berenson, and we got some new developments on that, and he's going to be joining us. So we got a lot to get into, a lot to cover, but you know what's coming up in just a few minutes? We're going to get the new dump of the election results here locally. That's coming up right at 4 o'clock. We'll definitely let you know what that new dump shows of ballots. And, it's interesting because they say Thursday is the day, right? Because typically when the results came out Tuesday night, let's just take the Seattle mayoral race. Bruce Harrell was up by about 7 points, but everybody said, okay, all the votes that are left to count are going to be probably for Katie Wilson, because the remaining votes in Seattle typically go to further left candidate.
Progressive.
So, because when Shama Sawant, when she got elected, she actually made up 8 points. This is back in like 2010. So people are saying, well, Katie Wilson can make up 8 points. Well, yesterday, actually, Bruce gained a point, but then everyone said, well, wait a second. It doesn't, the big left-leaning ballots actually don't get counted till Thursday. So that's the tease for us today, is that the majority of the real far left votes will come today. And I think we'll have a sense of where we're sitting today. I think a lot of people are still wondering not only where we're going to be with the Seattle mayoral race, but also the King County executive race, which is very close. And I think we'll have a pretty good idea at around 4 p.m. today if Bruce Harrell's going to be our mayor again, or if Katie Wilson's going to make up some ground or not. We shall see. Of course, I know John talked a little bit about this yesterday, but it's interesting to see these results come in. Of course, Sarah Nelson, Seattle City Council president, will not be our city council president any longer after the new year. Ann Davison, our Seattle city attorney, lost by, she's down by about 25 points, which is pretty significant. And a lot of people are asking this, Joe. They're saying, okay, because Harold, Davison, and Nelson, 4 years ago, they all came in together, got elected together, kind of under this similar banner of pragmatism and moderate pragmatism, because as we know in Seattle, we're like a tennis game, like the volley game, like everything's a reaction, right?
Pendulum
So
swinging.
it's like we react. So like we just had a reaction, and then in 4 years we're going to have another reaction, and then in 4 years it's like we volley back and forth. But people are wondering, how did he escape, in the sense of they got similar votes 4 years ago between Harold, Davison, and Nelson.
Yeah.
They were all kind of in the same ballpark in terms of the percentage of votes they got. And yet, Tuesday, Harold just outpaced them significantly. And a lot of people are wondering, okay, how did that happen? And, there's some, I don't think we'll get into a lot of the inside baseball of that today. But if you recall, about a month ago, there was an article in the Seattle Times. They ran a investigative story on a guy named Christian Sinderman, who's a longtime political strategist here in the state of Washington. Some call him the most powerful man in Washington, because he runs campaigns and strategies for, campaigns for a lot, governors, mayors. Yeah. I mean, everybody you can think of. And there was a little bit of a kerfuffle that happened where Sinderman, who worked for Harold and ran Harold's, campaign, and then he ran Sarah Nelson's opponent, Dion Foster.
Ooh.
He ran, and so there's a lot of questions about the kind of sensitive information that Sinderman had access to help run Dion Foster's campaign and be able to run up the numbers on Nelson. So anyways, that's a little inside baseball for you there. I know a lot of people are like, boring. Let's just move on.
I think it's fascinating.
But if you're interested in that, we can talk. Let us know. 888-973-5476. 888-973-5476. If you have any interest in talking more about that, we can dive into that. But I don't want to bore everybody right out of the gates here. I'm just a guest host for John. But we'll get into the election results when they drop about 4 p.m. The thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, it's interesting, Joe. A couple days ago, we had a big 10-year anniversary, okay? And we talked about this a little bit ago. A lot of people I've mentioned this to a few people over the last couple of days. I was like, hey, do you know what the 10-year anniversary here in Seattle is? They're like, what is it? 10 years ago, and this is just a couple days ago, marked the anniversary of the city of Seattle declaring homelessness an emergency. And this was, were you here 10 years ago?
I was not.
You weren't here. This was a big deal. Ed Murray was the mayor, and he came out and there was a grandiose, big statements were made, and a lot was being done about this. And this was on November 2nd, 2015. And some of you listening may remember this when Ed Murray and King County Executive Dale Constantine, they stood before the local media and they declared an emergency over the region's homelessness crisis. And they said, we're pledging full support. We're going to do everything we can to end this, within 10 years. We want to end homelessness within 10 years.
Did they do it?
What? No, they didn't.
Okay.
They did not.
Dang.
And, it's interesting because I was diving back into some of Mayor Murray's comments about what he said 10 years ago. Because in some ways that feels like 50 years ago for so many of us, because it feels like we've been just living this day in and day out of like, what are we doing? How are we not solving this? How do we not do better? But we have some of that audio from Ed Murray from 10 years ago this week declaring a state of emergency here in Seattle.
This homeless crisis is compounded by a massively growing heroin epidemic across this nation and in this city. This morning at 8:31, I signed a proclamation declaring a civil state of emergency in the city of Seattle in response to the growing homeless crisis in our city. Few cities are as generous as Seattle in funding services for the homeless, currently more than $40 million a year. I am also sending in a package of an additional $5 million from a one-time funding source for additional services for the homeless. The reality is, we are in a moment in our history where decades of service cuts, growing income inequality, and the untreated issues of mental health and drug addiction has finally resulted in a human crisis seldom seen in the history of our city. And together, I am sure that we can lead the nation in finding a way forward.
And he played the piano while saying all that?
Yeah, he
was
did.
amazing.
He was like Billy Joel over there. Here's a couple interesting things about this is that first, the money he mentions a $40 million allocation and then a $5 million additional funding source. Yeah. And it's interesting because the way he said it back then, it was like, man, we are really, we're going after this thing. We're tackling this thing. And if you said that today, you'd be like, gosh, I feel like that's what the normal person is giving. Each neighborhood is distributing so much money towards this thing. When you look
that in a week these days.
Yeah. We'll get into the numbers in just a second, but those, that just seems like pennies on the dollar at this point. And the other thing that I thought was interesting is that Ed Murray, he actually hits two of the things that, I think are top of the list when it comes to, the mental health treatment and the mental health issues along with the drug epidemic. And it's fascinating to me that this completely, since the time that he came out and talked about this, has been almost buried and swept under the rug. That when you look around and say, man, how did we get to a place where we basically put that maybe down the list of why this is happening? Because of the housing first model and the harm reduction model that we've emphasized and we've put into place has basically just said, you know what, we're punting and we're kicking the can down the field, so to speak. And it was interesting that when he declared this emergency, he actually hit the two things that are, I think, absolutely critical to solving this. And for whatever reason, our elected officials over the last 10 years, let's just be honest, they've failed, right? They have absolutely failed to even come close to solving this or helping this. And here's a couple statistics that I think that should prove this. Okay, number one, so since this time, homelessness in King County has risen 68%. Okay, they went from saying, hey, we want to solve this in 10 years to actually this going and rising 68%. So we had 10,047 people in 2015. Now we have 16,800. So it's grown every year since this declaration. Secondly, Seattle and King County has become a magnet for attracting people to come here. And the establishment and the elected officials and the activist class have pushed back against this notion that people are coming here and that the people that are essentially on the streets and homeless are from here. And that is categorically false. It's categorically false. In fact, a recent survey has shown that 19.8% of those experiencing homelessness in King County have attended high school here. So only 19% of people homeless have actually attended high school here. So 80% of people aren't from here, which, there's a lot of questions that I think people are going to have about that. We have also, Washington State has the highest number of chronically homeless people in the country. The number of annual homeless deaths have risen more than 500%. So back when Murray made this declaration, 75 people died on the streets in 2015. In 2023, that jumped to 421.
So fentanyl didn't even really exist. At least nobody had ever heard of it back then.
Right. And then you think of the wasted money that we've put. So they started before the King County Regional Homelessness Authority was put into place back in 2019. Murray started something called All for Home. Okay, so that was kind of the original King County Regional Homelessness Authority. It was All Home. A guy named Mark Putnam was the executive director of that. And they went away from that. They ended that. So just millions wasted there. Then they moved to a thing called Partnership for Zero, which they were going to say, hey, we're going to go down to what? Zero. That failed. Tens of millions of dollars put into place in that. Then, of course, we have what? The King County Regional Homelessness Authority, led by its first CEO, Mark Dones. And guess what happened there? Now we've moved from wasting tens of millions to hundreds of millions. And, of course, even our mayor has said, I'm probably going to get rid of this because it's so dysfunctional. Joe, what do we do, man? This is we are seeing some things we've never seen before. The problem is that the term homelessness has almost become kind of a propaganda term because there are many legit people who are struggling, who have lost jobs, who are disabled, who have kids, who have families, and we've got to take care of them. We got to help them. But they're in the minority when it comes to the people who are on our streets right now. I know this. I live in Lake City. I see this day in and day out. And I think in some ways we've got to rebrand how we talk about homelessness. In fact, we've got to talk about it in terms of these encampments are actually drug encampments. I live very close to a few drug encampments, and many of these people, they have services. In fact, many have housing, and they're actually not homeless. But we've allowed this to fester. We've allowed this to kind of become a norm of society. And man, unless we do something, we're going to continue to go down this road of billions wasted. So Tim Gatos in for John Curley. Let's check in with Nate at the real-time traffic desk. What's up, Nate?
Hey, Tim. As you can imagine, it is really busy out there. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Seattle to Everett, already an hour and 10-minute commute, 20 to 25-minute delay in your pack from Northgate to the Linwood interchange, where a crash had 3 out of your 4 lanes blocked for a while, but that all cleared a half hour ago. So we're in recovery mode, but at this time of the day, I'm not so sure this improves much as we head into that evening commute. Bellevue to Everett, 55 minutes. You're solid from mid-Bellevue into Bothell. Everett to Seattle will take you an hour. We've got 3 backups south Everett, starting at the Boeing Freeway, that typical backup through Linwood, and your bumper-to-bumper from Lake City Way to the West Seattle Bridge. Everett to Bellevue, just 40 minutes. It's slow between Alderwood and Bothell. Auburn, eastbound 18, as you head into Auburn on eastbound 18, your bumper-to-bumper from I-5 and Federal Way all the way to Auburn Black Diamond Road, where fire crews are blocking the right lane to battle an encampment fire. This leaves 1 lane open at the scene. And a new crash in Tacoma, South 5 approaching State Route 16, right there in your 2 center lanes. Comedian Tom Segura is back November 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for another night of nonstop laughs only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Will there be a clear frontrunner in the race for Seattle mayor?
We'll break down the latest batch of numbers.
A local nonprofit scrambles to meet the need.
We chat with the CEO of Lifelong about the cut to SNAP benefits.
It'll be Friday. Paul Holden has your weekend planner.
Woohoo! And Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Smarter clean in half the time. Brought to you by Swiffer Power Mop. Tired of the mop and bucket struggle? The Swiffer Power Mop gives you a mop and bucket clean without all the extra work. It's an all-in-one cleaning tool that mops smarter, not harder. With built-in solution that breaks down dirt and grime. And a pad with over 300 scrubbing strips to absorb and lock sticky messes. It even gets into places a regular mop can't. And leaves your home smelling fresh for hours. Try the Swiffer Power Mop today. Love it or your money back.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Time is running out to save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. Now through the end of the month, save big on home comfort systems, generators, water heaters, and more. Plus, take advantage of 12-month interest-free financing and get your home winter ready before the chilly season starts. Trust the team voted best in the Pacific Northwest to be your dedicated home comfort company. Call Bob's today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I want to do.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best with your free consultation. You'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. The man accused of a decades-old cold case murder in Seattle has now been formally charged. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is following this case and has the updates.
57-year-old Mark Anthony Russ is now charged with first-degree murder with sexual motivation. He is a man with a violent criminal past, and he is an unregistered sex offender. Prosecutors say DNA connects him to the brutal murder of 14-year-old Tanya Frazier in 1994. She was stabbed to death. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
His history of violent behavior, his history of not following court orders is what made the prosecutor's office go to court and say, we think he should be held without bail.
Russ faces what amounts to a life sentence if convicted. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
FBI says it has arrested a 19-year-old Kent man in connection with a foiled ISIS-inspired terror plot in Michigan. Saeed Ali Mira is the 8th suspect charged in the alleged plan targeting Halloween weekend. Prosecutors say Mira faces multiple charges. Officials claim he was part of a group that scouted gay bars and an amusement park for possible attacks and bought weapons and ammunition. No criminal charges for Boeing over 2 crashes that killed 346 people. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun reports a Texas judge gave the government the green light to dismiss that case.
Instead of facing trial, Boeing will pay $1.1 billion in fines, compensation to victims' families, and safety improvements. Families of some of the victims begged the judge to reject the deal, saying Boeing shouldn't be allowed to, quote, buy its freedom. The Justice Department argued the agreement serves the public better than risking a trial that could let Boeing off the hook completely.
Federal judge orders the USDA to find the money to fully fund SNAP benefits for November. The ruling comes after the Trump administration announced it would partially fund the program, with recipients getting up to 65% of their benefits. Seattle Public Schools is getting a new leader. The school board voting yesterday to hire Ben Schuldner as superintendent. He spoke to KIRO 7 TV about the district's ongoing money problems.
When I get here, we're going to have deep and informed conversations about what the budget looks like and where everything has to be on the table because you have to be honest and open.
Schuldner currently runs the Lansing School District in Michigan. Takes us to 3:33. We have Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. This report brought to us by ProSculpt. Seattle to Everett has gone up yet again. We're at an hour and 20 minutes, and it's packed from Northgate all the way through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett has just jumped to an hour 10 minutes. It's solid from Bellevue all the way into Bothell, and you get real thick there at 520. Coming the other way, Everett to Seattle, hour 5 minutes. You've got 3 backups already this afternoon, starting in South Everett at the Boeing Freeway. Your typical couple miles through Linwood, and then bumper to bumper now coming out of Northgate down to the West Seattle Bridge. North 5 just past Albro Place. Look out for a disabled Metro bus in the right lane. Let's see, Tacoma South 5 approaching State Route 16. A crash blocks you 2 center lanes. You're backed up bumper to bumper already to the Puyallup River Bridge and renting the Puyallup on the Valley Freeway at 55 minutes. ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin Med Spa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Just wet for the rest of this afternoon. Downpours at times, and flood watch is in effect in places like the coast. Also, Snohomish County under a flood watch, and also a chance for rivers to flood across King County. The rain should taper off, though, by tomorrow afternoon. Right now, 55 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. So great to have you with us today. We're so glad you're here. My name is Tim Gatos, in for John today, and we're so excited right now to welcome to the program Eric Aincrim, Tori Gresham, from the Fifth Avenue production of Elf. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I am so excited to talk to you today. I mean, this is a big deal because Elf is one of the most beloved musicals in the nation, around the world. And you are bringing this story of joy and optimism to Seattle. It's coming up. How we feeling? We feeling good?
So hyped.
So hyped.
So hyped.
We literally just came from Tori singing her solo downstairs. It's called Never Fall in Love with an Elf, the song that Jovi learns, her lesson when Buddy stands her up on a date. And literally listening to her sing that song would be worth the price of admission, let alone the joy that the show's message is going to bring. It is just, the cast is absolutely ridiculous, and she is a big part of that.
Yeah. So we got Eric, your buddy, Tori, you are Jovi. And I mean, these are, when you guys did the rehearsals and auditions, there must have been some great chemistry, right? Because this Buddy and Jovi, I mean, this is a great story between the two of you, and I'm so excited to see what this brings. Talk about that.
You know, what's crazy is that we didn't even audition together.
Okay.
So in the professional world nowadays, it's actually very rare. Sometimes they'll do like let's bring them in together, but a lot of times you're in your own world auditioning with a reader, or sometimes even sending in a video, and then you just find out, and then you get in a room and, you know, we work it out in real time during the process. So
thankfully so far in our rehearsals, at least we've it was a good choice. The things are going well. There's good chemistry.
Yeah, I love it. Now, Eric, for you as Buddy, of course, one of the most beloved characters that exists. I mean, people just love Buddy the Elf, and you directed this back in 2012. When the Fifth Avenue had its first foray into producing the show. I mean, talk about that, to go from directing it in 2012 to say, you know what, I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I want to be Buddy. Talk about that a little bit.
It's incredibly full circle, and, you know, big kudos to David Armstrong, who originally designed that production. And then he was so fancy in 2012 that he went to Broadway directing his own show in that moment and left that void that then I ended up getting that opportunity to direct that show. So much credit goes to David Armstrong and the theater for the production that they designed. The aesthetics of this production, it all looks like it's taking place inside of a giant snow globe designed by Matthew Smucker, the scenic designer. It is a gorgeous set and production, just visually. And then the incredible full circle situation with the previous production into this is when I directed it, my choreographer was Dennis Jones. And Dennis Jones and I hadn't worked together again since 2012 when we did Mary Poppins last year. When I was Mr. Banks, he directed and choreographed that production, and now he's back doing this. We put on this production 13 years ago, and now doing Mary Poppins with him was a dream. He is literally the best in the business when it comes to taking care of a community and creating joy in the room. Not only that, the way that he works with children, we have young performers in this cast. He is just a dreamboat of a director. And so for me to be able to do this with that beautiful production that I was so lucky to be a part of the first time, and now be in such great hands with Dennis, it is literally such a dream come true that it feels like it's almost like too good to be true. Like, am I going to wake up at a certain point? But incredible. I don't want to wake up, and it is truly, truly a gift.
Tori, for you to play Jovi in this story of joy and optimism, what are you excited about to bring to life in the character of Jovi?
Well, what's interesting for my journey with the musical Elf is I actually saw it for the first time 13 years ago. I saw Eric's production, and that was the first time I'd seen it on stage. And I was blown away by the character Jovi and what she got to do in the show and the song she got to sing, so much so that I put that song you were talking about earlier into my audition book. And for the last 10 years, I've sung that song in pretty much every audition I've gone in for. So kind of hopefully manifesting one day I would get to play Jovi. So part of that full circle too, like getting the opportunity now to play her after all those years of wanting to. it's fascinating because now that we're into what it's like to actually play her, it's a very different from who I am naturally as a person, because Christmas is my favorite thing in the entire world. And Jovi, for most of the show, we see really detests Christmas and just is pretty cynical. And so it's been really fun juxtaposition, like is playing against Eric in the room with just high level like Energizer Bunny, and bringing it down to a more cynical level. It's really fun because that's very opposite of who I am. And then I get to sing a big song at the end. So all around, I think this is the most excited I've ever been about a production at the Fifth.
For folks in the Pacific Northwest who are beginning to, consider like, hey, what are we doing for, the holidays and Christmas? Give a little bit of a sneak preview. And I know, Eric, you did briefly a second ago, but just for folks who are maybe new, maybe they've never been to the Fifth Avenue Theater. Maybe they're considering, hey, what are we going to do with our family this year? Give a little sneak preview and why they should come and see this show.
Not only is it perfect for kids ages 4 to any age, it's perfect ages 4 to 104. You've got an iconic movie that people my age remember from decades ago, Will Ferrell's incredible energy infused into a full-blown musical theater, tap dancing, comedy, joy, optimism, the Christmas spirit, the holiday tradition, family, everything that you could want in a family experience. And beyond that, the Fifth Avenue Theater is where local artists are supported. This entire cast is Seattle artists. And if you want to help support the community of artists who call this place home, this is literally the ticket to buy to help the industry and the local artist community feel supported so that the Fifth can continue to take care of us as an artist community like they have for so many years.
Mm-hmm. And also on that note, if you're a purist of the movie Elf, don't be deterred by the fact that it's a musical. It is very true to the movie, and I think it's probably one of the best movie to musical adaptations. So if you love the movie, you will definitely love the musical.
It's the story of Buddy the Elf.
Buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he knows the score.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Get you in the room.
I absolutely love Elf. And shout out to Kenji Finkelstein, who is in the cast as well. Kenji's awesome, and we are excited to come and see you. Where can folks pick up tickets?
FifthAvenueTheater.org. Go there, search Fifth Avenue Elf. Go anywhere you can search it. It's all over. There's a Fifth Avenue Instagram, Fifth Avenue Theater. They're on Facebook. You can just find links to FifthAvenueTheater.org and get your tickets.
And you can go to the box office in person as well.
Love it. Eric is Buddy, Tori, Jovi. I am so excited to come and see you guys, and congratulations on this incredible production. And I know the Pacific Northwest is going to have so much joy this holiday season. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Tim Gatos in for John Curley on the John Curley Show. We're going to throw it over to Nate at the real-time traffic desk. What's up, Nate?
Hey, we are busy out there. We've got a big issue who showed up southbound 99 at the south end of the Aurora Bridge. 2 right lanes are blocked. That leaves 1 lane open. We're blocked by a downed tree. Now, it is leaning on wires, and we could see that extra southbound lane shut down if this gets any worse. Right now, you're backed up bumper to Green Lake. Seattle to Everett, hour 20 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, hour 15. Everett to Seattle, a little over an hour. You've got 3 backups already this afternoon between Everett and Seattle. South Everett, Linwood, and now you're bumper to bumper from Northgate to the West Seattle Bridge. North 5 just past Albro Place. We've got this disabled Metro bus to look out for in your right lane. Heading out toward Auburn on eastbound 18 is a slow roll today. It's bumper to bumper from I-5 and Federal Way all the way out to Auburn Black Diamond Road, where fire crews are blocking your right lane. I know it's hard to imagine a fire with all the rain out there, but I think this started as an encampment fire. So right now we've got 1 lane open at the scene. And in Tacoma, South 5 approaching State Route 16. A crash blocks 2 center lanes. Your backup starts at South 320th and Federal Way. Right now, Federal Way to Tacoma will take you 40 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
John Curley here for Longevity Medical Clinic. I have to tell you, I don't know where I would be in my life without Longevity Medical Clinic. I've been a patient for 15 years. It's so easy to get started. Schedule a free health analysis appointment online with LongevityMedicalClinic.com. During your visit, you're going to spend a full hour with your doctor to craft a comprehensive health plan tailored to your exact needs and lifestyle. I've been able to reduce my risk for serious disease like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Longevity will help you plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. The approach is really simple. It's proactive. It focuses on prevention, going beyond the traditional model of just merely managing your symptoms and treating conditions as they arise. Let's face it, just because you're getting older, we're all getting older, it doesn't mean you have to fall apart. Get started with your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. That's LongevityMedicalClinic.com. Again, that's LongevityMedicalClinic.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a Good to Go account, you'll now receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good to Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for being with us. Tim Gatos here for John today. So glad that you are with us on this this wet day in the Pacific Northwest. My goodness. Hey, I tell you, if you're planning on traveling anytime, SeaTac Airport just announced airlines are preparing for a cut of 10% of flights beginning tomorrow. That's going to bring relief to air traffic controllers, headaches for travelers, but the FAA announced a number of airports across the country, high-volume markets, which, of course, is SeaTac. And so that's going to affect. So I would really recommend that you check the airport, check your flight. The FAA, they haven't released details on which flights are going to be affected, but, of course, the airline's statement suggests cut will focus on smaller domestic and regional flights and are going to hopefully spare those longer international flights. Port of Seattle Commissioner Sam Cho says the FAA's plan reduce flights by less than 10% on Friday. Then they're going to ramp it up in later days to allow the airlines to adapt. And by 3 p.m., by about 50 minutes ago, 20 cancellations had been listed for Friday at SeaTac. They are tracking delays and cancellations. More cancellations are likely, so just make sure you're checking that. SkyWest, a regional airline that partners with United, Delta, American, and Alaska Airlines, they canceled 163 flights, including 14 to and from SeaTac. And so make sure you're checking that. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to be seeing the election results that are going to be dropping.
They dropped.
Oh, my gosh. What do we got? Talk to me, Goose.
Ooh. No big surprises. No big changes, I should say. It's essentially same as it was, just 20, 30,000 more votes.
Yep.
But Bruce Harrell still at 52.64%. Katie Wilson, 46.93%. Germay Zahale still at 51.73%, and Balducci at 47.05%.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll dive into that a little bit later, but it looks like Harrell, his lead dropped by about 2 points, it looks like.
Still up by about 10,000 votes.
So 52.64 to 46.93. So you're talking about 5.5. So it went he dropped 2.5 points. So his lead. So some mathematician out there is going to be able to determine.
Don't look at me.
What percentage of votes over the next couple days that Harrell's going to need to remain in the lead. I know they were saying 60,000 dropped today, which leaves how many left? About 40,000. Is that about right? I think.
No, so there were 60,000 left uncounted in Seattle. King County had about 100,000. So
yeah.
How many of that? How many they've actually counted in this latest drop? I don't know, but I think they're getting close to almost being done with them. So
yeah,
I think he's getting comfortable.
I think she would have to win. I think something like 62% of the remaining votes, something like that. So. It looks like Bruce might be popping some champagne, but we'll find out.
How long has it been since Seattle has reelected a mayor?
Since Greg Nichols in, I think, 2009. Wow. He was the last second-term mayor. But speaking of elections, coming up after the break, there's a new party here in the state of Washington. It's called the Cascade Party. And I particularly like the vision and the heart of this. This is about finding common-sense solutions for the issues that we face here in our state. A lot of times we get so polarized into our camps, And joining us after the break will be the founder of the Cascade Party, Chris Novoselic. Did I get it? Novoselic. I got it. I did it. And we're going to be talking about this. So you're going to want to stick around right after this. We're going to toss it over to Nate at the real-time traffic desk. What's up, Nate?
Hey, Tim. It is so busy out there. Let's start with our most recent blocking issue, southbound 99 at the south end of the Aurora Bridge. 2 right lanes are blocked. That leaves 1 left lane open. We're blocked by a downed tree. This is going to be with us for a while. You're backed up bumper to Green Lake right now. Now, South 5 isn't much better. Everett to Seattle, an hour, 20 minutes. You've got 3 backups, but the big one is once you get into Seattle, it's bumper to bumper from Northgate to the West Seattle Bridge. Seattle to Everett is up to an hour, 25 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 15. We've got this huge backup eastbound 18 that stretches from Federal Way all the way out to Auburn Black Diamond Road, where that right lane remains blocked by fire crews battling an encampment fire. That leaves 1 lane open at the scene. Tacoma, we did clear that crash. South 5 approaching State Route 16, but it's left you with a backup starting at South 320th. Federal Way to Tacoma right now is going to take you 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hart.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Will there be a clear frontrunner in the race for Seattle mayor?
We'll break down the latest batch of numbers.
A local nonprofit scrambles to meet the need.
We chat with the CEO of Lifelong about the cut to SNAP benefits.
It'll be Friday. Paul Holden has your weekend planner.
Woohoo, and Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
If you're tired of uneven home heating or cooling, noisy systems, or sky-high energy bills, listen up. John Curley with some great news on how the latest technology is changing home comfort. It's called the Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System, and it's available from our friends at Home Comfort Alliance. Quilt systems offer next-generation efficiency to give you room-by-room control. That means you're not heating the whole house when you're just in the living room. Smart, right? And here's the kicker. It saves you money. Real money. Quilt's advanced zoning and energy efficiency can cut your utility bills while keeping your home perfectly comfortable year-round. Home Comfort Alliance is the trusted name in HVAC for almost 50 years, and they're the flagship partner for Quilt. Every Home Comfort Alliance quilt system qualifies for maximum heat pump tax credit. Call Home Comfort Alliance today and tell them John Curley sent you. Call the comfort people today for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
So what'll you have today? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry?
When it comes to picking ice cream, there are lots of choices, and they all look and sound so good. Choosing a Medicare plan is a lot like that. So many options, all sound good. But if you pick a plan that's not right for you, there can be serious consequences. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Open enrollment season is underway, and we're all being inundated with advertisements encouraging us to choose this Medicare Advantage plan or that one. Maybe the best choice for you is traditional Medicare. To make an informed decision, you need to do your homework. The Insurance Commissioner Sheba program has a free Medicare Jumpstart toolkit to get you started.
This is Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer. Our Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit has a checklist of 7 easy steps to help you decide which Medicare plan is right for you.
Order your free toolkit today at insurance.wa.gov. That's insurance.wa.gov. Or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center. Then go get an ice cream.
Out at the Wilcox family farm, our hens roam freely on fresh green pasture. But that means predators like coyotes and eagles are always nearby. That's where our team of Great Pyrenees help out. These gentle giants were born to protect, and they become a part of our family, raised alongside the chickens from puppyhood. Our hens are raised humanely, our practices are organic, and our promise is simple: fresh eggs straight from our farm to your table. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
FAA and airlines cutting thousands of flights.
It's ridiculous. The government needs to get back going.
Fully funding food aid during shutdown.
Let's get these SNAP resources going.
Cheaper obesity drugs for some.
It is a great day for American health and healthcare.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A source tells CBS News airports in Atlanta, New York, Chicago, Dallas, and L.A. are among those impacted by the FAA's 10% cut in flights, leading to delays and cancellations beginning tomorrow. Odyssey New York reporter Marla Diamond at LaGuardia Airport.
The holiday decorations are already up here in Terminal B, where Lauren Levy worried about what a prolonged shutdown would mean for her holiday travel.
Going to Texas for Thanksgiving. I'm hoping to go to visit my sister in Thanksgiving, so we're just crossing our fingers.
New York City's airports, some of the nation's busiest, are being asked to cut back the most. Marla Diamond for CBS News, New York.
A federal judge in Rhode Island orders the Trump administration to find the money to fully fund SNAP benefits for November on this 37th day of the government shutdown. New Jersey Community Food Bank recipient Shelley Yearwood.
You don't use food to starve people, to get to your greedy agenda. So please talk and get together and really think about it's for the people. It's not for you. It's for the people.
Republican sources tell CBS News that the Senate may take a procedural vote tomorrow that could be a path toward ending the shutdown. CBS's Nicole Killian.
It could be the temporary funding bill that the Senate has been voting on for some time now that has failed, but the hope is that they can broaden that out a bit to a larger shell bill, if you will, that would include funding for the government, but also a series of appropriations bills that would fund portions of the government on a longer-term basis.
The National Transportation Safety Board says multiple pieces of the engine that fell off of a UPS cargo plane just before it crashed near the Louisville, Kentucky airport Tuesday have been recovered. At least 13 people have died. President Trump announces a deal with drug makers Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk to provide obesity medications like Zepbound and Wegovy at significantly reduced prices for some people.
This will slash the cost of Wegovy from $1,350 a month to ultimately $250 a month.
The lower prices apply to those with certain medical conditions and who are eligible patients on Medicare, Medicaid, and the planned Trump RX Pharmaceutical website. Tesla shareholders overwhelmingly endorse a $1 trillion pay package for CEO Elon Musk if he hits certain performance targets over the next decade. U.S. stocks plummet. The Dow closed down 399 points. Now this.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
Well, some big flight disruptions are coming to SeaTac airports. We'll have the latest after Nate Conrad at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Global Credit Union has the update. It is so busy out there. It's kind of a repeat of yesterday, unfortunately, and we've got it all to credit to weather out there. Here are some of the bigger issues. Southbound 99 at the south end of the Aurora Bridge. 2 of your 3 lanes are blocked. Those are the 2 right lanes by a downed tree. You're backed up bumper to bumper to Green Lake. South 5 isn't much better either. Everett to Seattle, an hour, 20 minutes. We've got 3 backups, one in South Everett, starting at the Boeing Freeway, your typical couple-mile backup through Linwood, and then bumper-to-bumper from Northgate to the West Seattle Bridge. Seattle to Everett, an hour 25. It's bumper-to-bumper from Lake City Way through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 15. You're solid from Bellevue into Alderwood now, and it gets real thick there at 520. In Auburn, looks like we just cleared that blocking issue, long-term blocking issue, eastbound 18 near Auburn Black Diamond Road. Fire crews had the right lane blocked to battle an encampment fire that left one lane open for about an hour and a half. You're still backed up from I-5 all the way to C Street. And in South Tacoma, North 5 is South 72nd. A new collision blocks your left lane. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Double check those flight plans this weekend. There will be a rise in delays and cancellations at SeaTac Airport starting tomorrow. SEA is among the airports seeing reduced air traffic during this government shutdown. These travelers telling KIRO 7 TV.
I'm nervous. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to affect us, to be honest with you.
Now, according to FlightAware, it is already showing 23 cancellations at SeaTac tomorrow. The move aims to ease pressure on air traffic controllers working without pay during the shutdown. Latest election results just came down. They show Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell holding on to his lead over Katie Wilson. Harrell's up by about 10,000 votes. That is less than a 6-point lead. He was up 8 points last night. Federal lawsuit claims a Snohomish County teenage girl was sexually exploited through the popular apps Discord and Roblox. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has that story.
Lawyers say the 14-year-old girl, identified only as Jane Doe, was groomed by a man posing as another child who first contacted her on Roblox before moving their chats to Discord, where he convinced her to send explicit photos. Attorney Sarah Beller.
Roblox prioritizes profits over people. They prioritize their growth over the safety of our children.
A Discord spokesperson says the platform requires users to be at least 13 and uses several tools to prevent sexual exploitation and grooming. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Making good on his campaign promise, Governor Bob Ferguson has spent this week working out of Western State Hospital. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports.
Governor Ferguson says early on in his political career, one of the first issues he was interested in was mental health.
In part because my family had, like a lot of families, issues related to mental health.
Construction of a new 350-bed facility on the Washington State Hospital campus is underway, and it should be open in 2028. Officials say it will help the state meet the requirement to hold people charged with crimes who are awaiting competency evaluations at a mental health facility rather than in jail. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. A lot of rain out there. There is a flood watch in effect for Snohomish County, a coastal flood warning in effect as well. Rain continues overnight, starting to taper off by tomorrow afternoon. Right now looking at 56 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back. It's Tim Gatos. So glad that you are with us today. I tell you, excited to have Chris Novoselic with us in studio. He founded Nirvana in 1987 and then founded the Cascade Party in 2024.
Hi, Tim.
You're an entrepreneur.
I'm always looking for opportunity or trying to make change, an agent of change, and here I am today. I'm happy to be on your show.
Thanks so much for joining us. And I tell you, we were talking the other day and hearing the vision for the Cascade Party and hearing we have a lot of polarization. We have a lot of things that can divide us. And I tell you, there's a lot of vision and passion that I see when you share about why you're doing this. And a lot of this has to do with your background and a lot of the things that you've been involved with over the years. And we'll get into all that. But, just share with us a little bit about why you started the Cascade Party and what it is.
Well, we need a effective opposition in Washington State. We've had one-party domination for too long, and it's getting more dominating. And like the Republican brand, with Trump is just not working in Washington State. And then Democrats, like I used to be a Democrat. I was active in the Washington State Democrats. I was chair of Waukegan County Democratic Central Committee, precinct committee officer, state committee officer. I'd go to the meetings. I did all that. And then in 2009, I just was not connecting with the party. So I resigned as chair and I left to be a political independent until Cascade Party was established last year.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, and congratulations on that. I mean, to say, hey, I helped start a political party, I mean, those don't start every day.
Well, it depends on what state you're in. So every state has its own rules. And in Washington, you can only qualify as a recognized state party once every 4 years. It's like cicadas hatching, right? So it's in the spring of a presidential year, and there's these requirements, these hoops you have to jump through. And we did it, and we qualified as a party. And so we're good as a party until 2028, until when we have to do it all over again. So if you want to start a new party like today or tomorrow in Washington State, you can't until 2028. So there's 3 parties in Washington State now, recognized parties: Republican Party, Democratic Party, and Cascade Party.
Wow. What was the moment, Chris, where you said, you know what, I'm going to do this? What was that kind of tip of the spear, that moment in your life where you're like, you know what, I'm doing this?
I've always been fascinated by political association, and that's why I gravitated towards a group like a political party in the aughts with Democrats. I'm active in the Washington State Grange, and it goes back to just being a young person in the punk rock scene and finding like-minded kids, and we made our own shows, we made our own magazines, we made our own music, we made our own way, and we associated, and we didn't ask government or corporations. You know, we just did it our own ways. And the help we got was from like small business, like the clubs and beer distributors, because we would sell beer basically when you play those rock shows. Mm-hmm. And we'd like community groups too, like Granges, Odd Fellows, Elks. Like we would play their halls, and like it was a cool thing. It was like really decentralized. And that's the thing with like Generation X. Like I'm the oldest Generation X, right? We would listen to the radio until our favorite song came on, and then record it on a cassette, right?
Yeah.
So we had that patience.
You'd always get the 2 seconds of the DJ doing the lead-in, though, and you try to get rid of that.
That was just the ambiance of it, right? And we saved money. It was resourceful.
Yeah. Talk about you. You know, it's interesting because, you know, I'm similar to you. I've been kind of in some ways disenfranchised by, you know, different parties and how we go about things. And I know a lot of people are similar to that. In fact, later in the program, 5 p.m. hour, we're going to talk to Alex Berenson, who is out in New York. He was a reporter for the New York Times for 12 years, and he's in the similar conversation that we're having now. What was it, I guess, you know, you I don't know if it was, you saw how the sausage was made, so to speak, when you were in the Democrat Party and you were doing a lot of the, you know, initiatives and things that you were doing. What were those moments that kind of brought you to a place of saying, you know what, we can do better?
Well, people are exhausted and overwhelmed by all the political attacks. So it's more about the people. I mean, the system can adapt because we still are a democracy, right? And so we're a party where we don't want to exploit anxiety. So we have this like campaign industrial complex in our state, the consultants, and we just went through all that, the mailers, the ads, the nasty grams, and it's really base stuff too. There's a lot of distortions, and we're like looking at Olympia. So what happened is, like, for Washington State was an outlier. We went more left in 2024 and that election than the rest of the country, okay? And so Trump is really unpopular in our state. And that's bringing the opposition party down, is the Republicans. They're tied to the hip with Trump, right? And so, so things are so polarized, and so they're just running against Trump all the time. Mm-hmm. And so we want to look like, so the legislative session happened, right? So it's like the phases of grief. So there's like the shock, the denial, the anger, and there's all that happening with Trump. And you see it on social media, people sharing the memes all day long, right? I don't like the guy either, right? But he doesn't live in my head rent-free, right? So we had this legislative session in January, and the majority party, they passed $9 billion in new taxes, right? And so where is this? So what are the outcomes, and what are we getting out of this? And so what we're doing with Cascade Party is we're looking towards the 2026 session as just objectively and saying, hey, what could be best for our state? So now the agencies, they're submitting their budget requests, right? So the Department of Commerce is asking for an additional $3.2 million to fund local climate plans and plan implementation, right? $3.2 million bucks. Okay. Well, I drive a Tesla, right? So what are my emissions? Okay. Except right now at this moment, I guess I'm just kind of, sharing stuff. But, and that climate stuff too, didn't Bill Gates just come out and say, well, maybe this climate stuff isn't that,
right.
Blah, blah,
it's
blah,
not
blah,
as
blah,
serious.
Blah. It's not as serious, right? But there's still $3.2 million for local climate plans and plan implementation. But I'm not an anti-tax guy. We're I'm the recovering Democrat, right? And so taxes are okay, but I want to see some measurable results. So there's another request in Olympia, okay? And it's from the Department of Agriculture. And they want about $12 million for the control of invasive Japanese beetle.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's the details about how it's quote unquote extremely destructive to numerous crops. Okay? So I think the reasonable path is let's go for eradicating the beetles.
Yeah.
Which is bad because they're a great band. Okay, that just came out of my mouth. No, B-E-E.
The
Beatles. I was in the Beatles for a moment, and it was very interesting as a musician.
Were you how far back does your political inclinations go? Have you always been politically inclined?
I always paid attention. I always voted. My first election was in 1984. I walked into a union hall in Aberdeen, Washington, and there was this massive portrait of Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay, and there was a poll there. That's when there was a poll, and I voted for Walter Mondale for president.
Yeah.
That's the only person I remember voting for, and I voted in every presidential
that didn't go
election.
well for him.
And then Nirvana ended in 1994, and then we had some real challenges, attacks on the music community in Washington State, and Seattle had the teen dance ordinance, right? Where you're 18 to 20-year-old adult, you couldn't go to a live music event.
Right.
Olympia had censorship with harmful to minors, the erotic music law.
Mm-hmm.
There was that kind of stuff. And so we started a political action committee, a political group, and we were advocating on behalf of the music community that music is an asset and not a liability for Washington State. And we were hearing back from legislators oh yeah, I just came back from Australia, and people are saying, oh, you're from Seattle? Yeah, Soundgarden, Nirvana. And by the way, Soundgarden's going to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
2 nights. November 8th.
On Saturday. So anyway, and that's when I started going to Olympia. I remember working with Sid Snyder. That's my institutional memory, right?
Yeah.
And we were working, and Governor Lowry, and we were working on advocating that, hey, we're an asset and not a liability. And so that's how it was I'm just a bill, I'm only a bill.
Yeah.
That's how I learned how the Olympia works and this and that. So I do have some experience.
Did you guys ever talk back in the Nirvana days? Did you guys talk politics?
Oh, of course we did, but it was that punk rock politics stuff. But we broke a lot of ground. It was 1992, there was an initiative in Oregon to take away the definition, sexual orientation from the definition of civil rights in Oregon. And so Nirvana, we played a benefit concert for No on 9. And so we stood up for gay, lesbians, for that community, because that's what we believe. And I'm still the same way. And that's when it really mattered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought back then? There was, I remember Hands Off Washington. There was an initiative for, there was some kind of initiative that failed, and it was pro-gay, lesbian. And it was the recriminations is oh my God. And who would have ever thought the morning after that we would have same-sex marriage, which is what I support 100% in Washington State. But my point is that things can change, right?
Yeah.
And that mores and attitudes change.
The thing that you said, which was interesting, you said you don't want to exploit fear or anxiety with the Cascade Party. And I think that's a powerful thing that you said, because when you look at what politics has become, that is at the top of the list, right? How can we go about and exploit fear, exploit anxiety, even create it, right? How can we create fear? How can we create anxiety? And we've seen, we could sit here for a long time and talk about, all the ways that that's played out over the years. Riff for a moment on that a little bit.
Well, it's just pervasive. And so with Cascade Party, what does a political party do? It frames issues for voters. There's just experts in every field of like agriculture, economics, environment, whatever, right? And so it's even tough for like legislators to keep up with things, let alone voters, right? And so voters rely on a cue, okay? And then now a lot of people have anxiety, they're overwhelmed, they're scared, they don't trust the establishment, but they go back to the same old cues. It's like, okay, I'm going to vote for the donkey. Okay, I'm going to vote for the Republican because that makes the most sense to me. Well, if we could have a public profile, because the Cascade Party, our mascot is an owl. So and all people need to do is like, oh yeah, Cascade Party, I agree with them on that. Like, yeah, we should eradicate the Japanese beetle before we do this like weird climate stuff, So that's what parties do, is they package issues for people.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have the advantage of that in Washington State is our election system. We have this like top two primary, and we can get into the weeds about prefers party and on those ballot disclaimers. But in the end of the day, it's a runoff system. So if we can get out of the primary and it's the right district with the right candidate, and we could make our case to voters saying we're paying attention to Olympia. These are good taxes. These are bad taxes. These are too much taxes. Let's pay for this, but this doesn't make any sense, and maybe the ruling party should explain this instead of blaming El Trumpissimo way back east, right? Okay, that's what they just pivot on all the time, right?
Oh, I know.
And so it's just like, if enough voters that's what parties do. And so if you do like comparative politics, like look at Australia. Like Australia has a dominant conservative party and a dominant Labor Party. But they also have like these surges of minor parties, like the Green Party, okay? And then the Green Party will do really good in an election, and they'll elect some people. But then the major parties see that the issues that they ran on, the issues that they introduced into campaigns, and then the major parties fold those into their own manifestos.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about being a new party and a minor party, is bringing issues into the campaign. It's just like, we get it. He's a blowhard. We get it. He's a bull in a china shop, okay? But what's going on in Olympia, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and oh my gosh, I could talk about this forever, because to me, that gets so nauseating when the issues that we're dealing with on the ground. I live up in Lake City in North Seattle, and we're dealing with unbelievable issues up there.
Long. I'm not going to enforce the soap zone. It's just like, well, what are you going to do? Have these like hug squads? Like, hey, did John's? What?
But when we talk to I'll go to these meetings.
It's ridiculous. And they voted. We're going to have a new city attorney.
I'll go to these meetings with the 46 district Democrats, and to your point, all they want to do is talk about Trump, and it's like, Trump has nothing to do with what's happening in Lake City.
He lives in their head rent-free. They're obsessed. It's like the guy with the bell and the clapboard. The end is coming. The end is coming soon. It's just like, it's the same stuff.
We're talking to Chris Novoselic, co-founder of Nirvana in 1987, co-founder of Cascade Party 2024. Can you hang out for a few more minutes? We'll
oh, my God, absolutely.
I got a couple more questions to throw your way, because you mentioned Soundgarden getting inducted here in 2 nights, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, that's kind of a big thing for them. I mean, I know it's been a long time waiting. Maybe we can chat a little bit about that.
I'd love to. I
After
will
the break.
listen to the break intently.
All right. Hey, Tim Gatos, I'm going to throw it over to Nate at the real-time traffic desk. How we looking, Nate?
Oh, it's terrible, man. That drive into Everett is a real battle this afternoon. Seattle to Everett up to an hour and 20 minutes. You're thick at Lake City Way all the way through North Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, an hour and a half. It's solid from mid-Bellevue into Bothell. From there, it's scattered into Alderwood. Everett to Seattle, an hour and a half. Pretty much cleared out in South Everett. That's good news, but we still have that typical backup through Linwood. And then you're in first gear from Northgate Way all the way down to I-90. Southbound 99 at the south end of the Aurora Bridge. That right lane remains blocked while crews work on this downed tree. So this opens up an extra lane for you. We're still packed from Green Lake. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, a half hour on both bridge routes. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way is at 50 minutes. Tacoma to Olympia, also a 50-minute commute. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Harder.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Will there be a clear frontrunner in the race for Seattle mayor?
We'll break down the latest batch of numbers.
A local nonprofit scrambles to meet the need.
We chat with the CEO of Lifelong about the cut to SNAP benefits.
It'll be Friday. Paul Holden has your weekend planner.
Woohoo, and Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I wanted to.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Did you know September is historically one of the strongest months to sell a home, and there's typically a post-Labor Day boost that runs through October and sometimes even later. So is now the time to sell your home, and how much is it worth? Well, get an estimate of your home's value instantly at sellwithwest.com. If you want local expertise, someone who actually knows what's happening with the housing market in your neighborhood, there's no one more local than Wes Jones. Go to sellwithwest.com, sellwithwest.com, and start by using their free home value calculator to see what your home is worth. It might be worth more than you think. You'll get so much more than just a number from Wes Jones. We're talking about recent sales in your neighborhood, the market temperature in your city, side-by-side comparisons of multiple online estimates. You can even calculate how much equity you have, and even a breakdown of how your home's value has changed over time. Go to sellwithwest.com, type in your address, and bam, you'll have instant access to all of this and more. It's fast, easy, it's local. Sellwithwest.com, a better way to sell your home.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99. or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Seattle's morning news.
Hi, I'm Charlie Hart.
And I'm Amanda Factor.
Will there be a clear frontrunner in the race for Seattle mayor?
We'll break down the latest batch of numbers.
A local nonprofit scrambles to meet the need.
We chat with the CEO of Lifelong about the cut to SNAP benefits.
It'll be Friday. Paul Holden has your weekend planner.
Woohoo, and Sully has traffic every 10 minutes.
So join us tomorrow, 5 to 9 on Seattle's Morning News.
We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So, how many chickens do you think there are on the farm?
3,000?
What do you think chickens eat?
Grass.
What else?
Seed.
So, do you know what organic eggs are?
The ones that you put in brownies?
Yes, the ones you put in brownies.
We hope you choose fresh eggs from our family farm.
Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Airlines are being forced to cut back on flights at many major airports starting tomorrow. This is, of course, due to the ongoing federal government shutdown. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson reports from SeaTac Airport.
We checked and saw several cancellations from Alaska Airlines so far. We reached out to airlines. They say that they are reaching out to customers on those impacted flights with what their next steps should be.
We get more on this from CBS Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
What the order basically will say is that the airlines have to cut flying ultimately by 10% at those airports, but it's not starting at 10%. It appears now a compromise came up. The airlines will gradually step up to a 10% flight cut.
At last check, FlightAware was showing 23 cancellations at SeaTac tomorrow. Criminal case against Boeing over 2 deadly 737 MAX crashes has been dismissed. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports the Justice Department wanted that case tossed out.
Some family members of the plane crash victims call it a betrayal. Attorney Mark Lindquist represented those relatives in civil cases, but
many of the families are concerned that because Boeing was not held accountable in the criminal case, then Boeing isn't going to make the necessary changes.
Boeing has agreed to pay fines and step up quality control, but there will be no independent monitor to scrutinize Boeing production, and the company won't plead guilty to any criminal charges. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
FBI has arrested a 19-year-old man from Kent. The agency says he's involved with that foiled terrorist attack in Michigan last week. More from KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker.
His name is Saeed Ali Murr. Officials say he was in communication with 7 other accused ISIS supporters, many who are also in custody now. The FBI believes they were all planning to attack bars and clubs in the Detroit area. A couple of the suspects were arraigned this week in court.
FBI arrested Mira at his Kent home on Tuesday. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:32 with Nick Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. That drive into Everett is a real struggle this afternoon. Seattle to Everett, an hour 15. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 25. Everett to Seattle, an hour and a half. You've got your typical backup in Linwood, and then you're just barely moving from Northgate all the way down to I-90. Southbound 99 at the south end of the Aurora Bridge. That right lane remains blocked while crews work on this downed tree. It's packed from Green Lake now all the way down onto East Marginal. North 5 is packed from the Michigan curve in the downtown, very typical. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. It's solid from 520 to the VMAC. Seattle to Federal Way, 50 minutes. It's heavy from the Boeing Access Road all the way down to 516. And Tacoma to Olympia, give yourself 50 minutes. Comedian Tom Segura is back November 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for another night of nonstop laughs only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Staying rainy and breezy through early tonight, fewer showers and quieter conditions overnight into tomorrow morning. By late afternoon, we should be dry, and the weekend's looking good. A few clouds, but no rain for Saturday or Sunday. Right now, 56 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granello, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 News in the Morning is holding while I pull up my copy. It's KIRO 7 TV's Pinpoint Alert Days. It's your advance notice to stay safe. When weather threatens to damage and disrupt your daily life, KIRO 7 sounds the alarm, preparing you days in advance. Stay informed, stay prepared with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days, only on KIRO 7 News.
Black hole sun, won't you come?
In studio with us, Chris Novoselic, co-founder of Nirvana in 1987, founder of Cascade Party 2024. Chris, I was curious, is there a role model or an inspiration to you that you look at when you think of, your background in art and music, and then as you've gotten more involved politically, is there anyone that either you've connected with or you look to when it comes to people who have done similar things, right? I mean, we've seen other, artists and musicians who have gotten more involved and made big differences politically. But is there anyone that is your inspiration?
Sonny Bono.
There you go. We got it.
Yeah, it's like Sonny Bono was cool. He came out of the music industry and he went to Congress. I worked in this election reform group, Fair Vote, and when I joined the board, the chair was John B. Anderson, who ran for president in 1980 with an iconic independent campaign. And just to watch John chair meetings, and he was in the U.S. House from 1960 to 1980, and we would ask him questions like, what happened when President Kennedy was shot? Or like, what was Gerald Ford like? Because he was in the House with, Jerry would, he was a great guy. So I'd look up to him and his decorum. I try to be like that. And then being in the Grange and just some of the leaders in the Grange, of my local Grange, and the way they would conduct meetings, and then that whole ethic of just being nonpartisan and not trying to see humanity in people instead of just dehumanizing.
Right.
And that's what partisan politics does. And it robs us of that.
Yeah.
And we're just wasting our lives. It's just I just turned 60 years old,
hey.
right? And
congratulations.
Thank you. I made it. and then you start thinking about life and I can't make that commitment because maybe that's for a younger person.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, I want to love my family and my community and my home and my life.
Yeah.
And I have so many blessings. And so why am I going to get all wrapped up in politics?
Yeah.
I love doing politics, but it's policy and trying to do something different. And so with Nirvana, we were it's a cliche, but we were disruptors. So the music scene in 1991, the rock music, there was no #1 rock record for a year. And then you had these rock bands that were these Aerosmith knockoffs. So Aerosmith at the height of their powers in the late 70s. And so they took that, this Hollywood Sunset Strip band, and they just kind of rehashed it, okay? And so you had people wanted a new kind of rock music. So we came along and shake things up. And so trying to do that with Cascade Party, just do something different and make people feel dance again.
On that point, is there any revisionist history that you see? And this can happen all over the place where you see things that kind of get distorted a little bit, but is there any revisionist history that you see from back in those days, talking about getting the #1 rock record and just how that played out, that people talk about now, that you're like, you know what, that's not exactly the way it was, and it maybe got revised a little bit?
We had a #1 record, and we knocked Michael Jackson from the top of the charts. And somebody said that he was so upset that he slapped his monkey. But that never happened.
But
yeah, there's something like that. Like, yeah, poor thing. Yeah, poor thing.
Bubbles.
I love animals, and that was just appalling to hear that.
Yeah. Do you play a lot right now?
Yes, I play accordion and acoustic guitar. Now, I've made 5 records since 2017.
Yeah.
I made Giants in the Trees. Then I made this art record, Butterfly Launches from Sparpole. Check out butterflylaunch.com. Check out cascadeparty.org. Cascadeparty.org. That's the political stuff. But the music, and then the last 2 records I made was Third Secret with Matt and Kim from Soundgarden. So we had this like super group thing going. So 3RD Secret. Check it out.
Yeah. And you're heading down to LA for the
on
induction.
Saturday, we're going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to support Soundgarden finally. It's bittersweet. It's going to be one of those bittersweet. Chris isn't going to be there, we know.
Right.
So that didn't come out very good. I don't know. Maybe I'm self-conscious. Or when I deal with those things, I'd maybe stutter or stumble.
Yeah.
But it's like I wish it would have been better. It's bittersweet. I'll just
yeah.
That. Yeah. So
were you pretty obviously you were close to those guys because you're playing with Matt and Kim now. I mean, were you closer now or were you closer then or
we were, we had this great music scene in the late 80s in the mid 80s where everybody was supportive and positive and we would hang out and we would drink beer and go to each other's shows. And I remember the first Soundgarden show that I saw, and it was with Hiro Yamamoto on bass, Kim Thiel on guitar, and Chris Cornell on drums and vocals. And he had this like Flock of Seagulls haircut. Remember the band Flock of Seagulls with like the dippity-doo kind of spike?
Oh, for sure.
A bang kind of coming down over his nose.
Yeah.
And it was at Guerrilla Gardens in the International District. And bands are like, there's like okay bands. And I could tell right away they were a great band. There was something about them that were like, I watched the whole show.
Yeah. And there's something obviously with, I think of, Chris, he went to Shorewood High School, I think, didn't he? And I think
Lane's a Seattle guy.
I think he went to Shorewood, and then Lane Staley went to Linwood High School for a couple years. And there's a lot. I mean,
I went to Aberdeen High School.
You went to Aberdeen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever go back to the reunions or anything like that?
No, because I'm department store Santa Claus. I should go, and that means because when I go and then I have to take a picture with everybody, it's just like, and I do that like
Thanks a lot,
every
Joe.
day. I do that every day, and like Joe, I have these postcards because sometimes I'm not in the mood to take photos, or like, oh, here's a card, or like if I take a photo with you, all those other people are going to want one, and there goes my night. Like department store Santa Claus is in the house.
Yeah. As you look back and just you think of you're still involved musically. Do you tour on any of these records that you're putting out?
No, we were doing Third Secret, and Matt was still in Pearl Jam. So there's that. See, there's all this kind of like mixing and mashing, and so he would just go on the road with Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
So you can't really blame him for doing that.
Right. Which he just recently said he's done. Right.
Yeah, he's not going to do it anymore.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. A lot to get on the road.
I talk to him about it. I might ask him about it on Saturday, or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe just look to the future.
When you think of we were talking about this between the break and like the Cascade Party and the kind of the big picture and, the famous question that people ask, what does success look like? When you think of that and you say in 5 years from now, this would be a dream if the Cascade Party did this.
Well, we're going to be recruiting candidates for the 2026 election and to find candidates that are quality candidates and can appeal to voters. And we're having our convention in January in Centralia, and so we'll be reorganizing the party. And so as to get candidates elected or have enough of an impact to where you shift the narrative or you contribute to the narrative. And that's what I mentioned earlier about minor parties, is to bring issues in. It's like, yeah, we get it. all this kind of mayhem and anxiety. But here's this issue, like maybe because this affects your business or this affects your household budget, right? So success is just really being a party and participating. And we also do this, the way we associate is like, I'm not aware of any other political party in the world doing what we do. It's like we have our own social media. We have this app called HumHub. It looks like Facebook. It acts like Facebook, but we control it 100%. It's this open source app that we uploaded to our own server.
Can you get locked out like Facebook?
I got locked out of Facebook. I joined Facebook again like a couple weeks ago, and I got verified, and I think they charged me $11.99. And so, like, Chris, you should join it. You're doing this Cascade party. It'd be good for the party. You're the chair of the party. Like, all right, I'll go back on Facebook. And then I'm like, you should get verified. Get that little verified. If you look, I'm probably there. Why hasn't Chris been posting in the last 5 days? Because I'm locked out. What did I do? I posted pictures of Chad Channing, the first Nirvana drummer. I did that. Sarah Nelson for City Council. I shared some of her stuff, but it's really nothing.
So what do you think? What do you think it was?
I may be a technical glitch or
Yeah.
whatever, but I don't really miss it because I look at my phone. I'm in the house and I look at my phone and I'm like, don't do it. Be good to yourself, Chris. You don't have to pick up the phone. Pick up the accordion. Pick up a book. Like you could, yeah. So it's kind of like this obsessive thing. Like, why am I doom scrolling and stuff? Is just like,
Yeah.
Then you feel bad afterwards. Like, why did I do it? I've just eaten a whole box of powdered donuts. What have I done? You know, it's just like,
Oh my gosh.
that kind of regret. So I'll read a policy paper, right? Or like or listen to a podcast that's like got good information, okay? Because you're going to be doom scrolling, and there's people who are like, yeah, this guy is obsessed with Donald Trump. I get it. Like he needs therapy or something, right? Or some kind of like we should smudge him with sage or some kind of ritual to like exorcism, right? Like get over it. But
Oh, my
that's
goodness.
easier said than done because you'll disarm the opposition party in Olympia. CascadeParty.org. That's
There it
us.
is. Chris Novoselic, CascadeParty.org. And the convention is coming up in January.
Check us out. You can get all the information online, the Hum Hub. So you join the Hum Hub, you're a member. So we don't track you. We don't sell you to advertisers. We're empowering people. It's a new kind of social media. It's an empowering social media. We don't exploit people.
Yeah.
So we're breaking ground there too.
Yeah.
So people, that's something cutting edge.
Hey, really appreciate you joining us today on the program. Thanks for taking the time and looking forward to seeing what Cascade Party does. Thank you so much. We're tossing it over to Nate at the real-time traffic desk. Tim Gatos here, the John Curley Show.
All right, thanks, Tim. Everett to Marysville, one of our few commutes doing well this afternoon, taking 15 minutes to make this trip. Bring this up because getting there from Seattle and Bellevue is going to take you hour and 15 from Seattle, hour and 20 from Bellevue. Everett to Seattle coming the other way, an hour and 25 minutes. You've got your basic backup in Linwood, and then you're just barely moving from Northgate down to I-90. In fact, you're not moving in the U District. Just past Mercer, we have a disabled vehicle now blocking 2 left lanes to add to this. Southbound 99 at the south end of the Aurora Bridge, that right lane remains blocked while crews tackle a downed tree. You're backed up from Green Lake, and that continues all the way down onto East Marginal Way. Crossing the lake from Bellevue, it's a half hour on 520, 40 minutes on I-90. Federal Way to Tacoma, give yourself 40 minutes. It's packed from South 320th down to State Route 16. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really work for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
If your commercial building is over 20,000 square feet, Washington's Clean Buildings Law not only probably applies to you, but goes into effect as soon as July of 2026. Puget Sound Energy's free Clean Buildings Accelerator is here to help. You'll get step-by-step guidance, easy energy tracking tools, ready-to-use plan templates, and a year of ongoing support. It's a simple way to save energy and lower costs. Sign up at pse.com/clean buildings.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster, at a higher price, and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow and binge all episodes of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, available now wherever you listen. Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare happens every year, but for a lot of people, it's still confusing. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Don't worry, help is on the way with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit brought to you by the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Find out what's changing and learn about your options for Medicare with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Order your free copy of the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
Welcome back to the John Curley Show. Tim Gatos in for John today. Really appreciate you being with us. And that was a great time with Chris Novoselic. I tell you, founder of Nirvana. I mean,
did you just say Novoselic?
Novoselic. Jeez, Nate.
Novoselic. Come on. You got to get. I know you're pretending. You're very humble. You're a huge fan. And you're pretending to not know his name.
Good call, Nate. Good
classic move there, Tim.
Look at Nate just sleeping over in the corner, and then all of a sudden just wakes up.
Come on, he's a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer.
Where you met him like this week?
Well, Sarah Nelson is our Seattle City Council president, right?
Love
so
Sarah.
We both have worked on campaign with her, and so we actually unfortunately had the duty. Sarah asked me to come and share at her party the other night.
Yeah, what do you call it if it's not a victory party? It's not like offensive.
Yeah, I know. It was sad.
Yeah,
but hey, I know we only got a minute here, but coming up here, you guys do not want to miss this. 5 o'clock, Alex Berenson is going to be with us. Alex, if you were remember the COVID days, a lot of us are trying to forget, he was the tip of the spear. He was one of the most sane voices during COVID. In fact, so sane that President Biden went after him and tried to silence him. And he's a longtime New York Times reporter and very just has written, I don't know how many best-selling books. The guy's has got more degrees than Fahrenheit. And he's a smart dude, and he's going to join us. He's going to talk about, he's in New York City. He's just got an independent streak that he thinks objectively, he thinks rationally, he thinks with data, and which is why he came to the conclusions that he did with COVID. And he's got a lot of thoughts when it comes to Zoran Mamdani in his city, New York. We're going to talk about that and some other things. So you're not going to want to miss this coming up here at the top of the hour with Alex Berenson. Tim Gatos in for John Curley. I'm going to throw it over to Nate at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Tim. Emerald Queen Casino has our update. Seattle to Everett, an hour 15-minute commute. Bellevue to Everett, right around the same window at an hour 20. Everett to Seattle, we're back to an hour 25 minutes. We've got 3 backups, South Everett, Linwood, and then you're barely moving from Northgate to I-90. In fact, just before Mercer, we have a stalled vehicle blocking 2 left lanes. Southbound 99 packed from Green Lake all the way down onto East Marginal Way. Just past the Aurora Bridge, your right lane is blocked. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, it's, a half hour on 520, 40 minutes on I-90, and Bellevue to South Center, give yourself 50 minutes. Comedian Tom Segura is back November 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for another night of nonstop laughs only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
John Curley here for Longevity Medical Clinic. I have to tell you, I don't know where I would be in my life without Longevity Medical Clinic. I've been a patient for 15 years. It's so easy to get started. Schedule a free health analysis appointment online with LongevityMedicalClinic.com. During your visit, you're going to spend a full hour with your doctor to craft a comprehensive health plan tailored to your exact needs and lifestyle. I've been able to reduce my risk for serious disease like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Longevity will help you plan for long-term well-being and personalized healthcare. The approach is really simple. It's proactive. It focuses on prevention, going beyond the traditional model of just merely managing your symptoms and treating conditions as they arise. Let's face it, just because you're getting older, we're all getting older, it doesn't mean you have to fall apart. Get started with your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. That's LongevityMedicalClinic.com. Again, that's LongevityMedicalClinic.com.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Subscribe to The Reset, the podcast with me, G. Scott, and Seahawks great Brandon Mebane. New episodes are out every Monday and Thursday on YouTube, or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Senate Republicans are planning a different approach to try to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. 2 Republicans tell CBS News that they're trying to add in 3 appropriations bills tomorrow that would change the government funding date well beyond November 21st. CBS's Nicole Killian.
This is just an introductory step, or a test vote, if you will, that the Senate is set to take tomorrow to see whether or not Republicans and Democrats are willing to come to the table to try to move the ball forward here in terms of trying to find an off-ramp for the shutdown. So still a ways to go, but there's some movement.
Air travelers are bracing for what could be chaos as the FAA proposes massive flight reductions across the U.S. They're being phased in at 4% tomorrow and up to 10% next week.
Both SFO and LAX are on a list provided to CBS News of 40 major airports nationwide that will see a 10% reduction in capacity. The FAA cuts are being made to alleviate staffing pressures on air traffic controllers working without pay.
They want to keep people safe, so if they have to make a reduction, they have to pick somewhere.
Angela Donahue is nonetheless frustrated that the government shutdown continues to drag on.
All of those politicians need to put their big boy and big girl pants on and get it done.
That's KCBS's Matt Bigler reporting. American Airlines says it has reduced flight schedules at 40 airports Friday through Monday, amounting to about 220 flights canceled each day. U.S. District Judge John McConnell in Rhode Island orders the Trump administration to provide full federal food benefits to states by tomorrow and admonishes the government for what he says is its defiance of an earlier order. The Justice Department has quickly appealed. Senate Republicans vote against invoking the War Powers Act to limit President Trump's ability to launch an attack on Venezuela.
South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham said Congress doesn't have the right to stop a military action just because it disagrees with it.
And the answer unequivocally to me is no.
Maryland Democrat Chris Van Hollen said President Nicolas Maduro is a plague on his own people, but attacking Venezuela is the wrong way to go.
We have learned from history that bombs don't turn dictatorships into democracies.
The U.S.
U.S. is assembling a large military force in the region, leading many to conclude that Trump intends to try to overthrow Maduro. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
2 days after a deadly UPS plane crash, a candlelight vigil is held in Louisville, Kentucky. Mayor Craig Greenberg.
We pray tonight for all 13 of the victims that we know, any other unknown victims, and all of their families.
Federal investigators have found multiple pieces of an engine that fell off of the plane just before it crashed near the airport. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And the race for Seattle mayor gets a little closer. That's coming up after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And this one brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. It is just a tough commute no matter where you're driving right now. Here are some of the bigger ones. Seattle to Everett, an hour, 20 minutes. It's thick from the U District through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, an hour and a half. It's solid from mid-Bellevue all the way into Alderwood, and then you're going to join that North 5 backup. Everett to Seattle, an hour and a half. We're now slow from South Everett, starting at the Boeing Freeway, all the way through Linwood, and then again from Shoreline down to I-90 just before Mercer. We've still got this disabled vehicle blocking 2 left lanes, but we have a tow-on scene getting ready to clear this out of your way. Now, southbound 99 remains packed from Green Lake onto East Marginal. At the south end of the Aurora Bridge, that right lane is blocked by a downed tree. Crossing the lake from Bellevue into Seattle, up to 50 minutes on 520. You're just barely moving from 84th over to I-5. 40 minutes on I-90. It's packed from Bellevue Way over to I-5. And Bellevue to South Center, 50 minutes. It's solid starting at Northeast 60th in Kirkland, all the way into South Center. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. The race for Seattle mayor just got more interesting. KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas with the updated results.
Mayor Bruce Harrell continuing to hold his lead. Katie Wilson gaining slightly, now just shy of 10,000 votes separating the two. That number was 11,000 last night.
Well, Harrell's lead now sits below 6%, and according to the Seattle Times, King County Elections has about 100,000 ballots left to count in Seattle. In the race for King County Executive, meantime, Gurmai Zahalai grew his lead over Claudia Balducci. Zahalai now up about 4.5 points. If you are flying out of SeaTac Airport, prepare for flight cuts starting tomorrow. The FAA does plan to reduce air traffic by 10%. This traveler tells KIRO 7 TV.
I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. You know, I thank the TSA and I thank everybody else, air traffic control, for doing what they're doing, even though they're not getting paid.
At last check, FlightAware was showing at least 23 cancellations at SeaTac tomorrow. The move aims to ease pressure on air traffic controllers who are working without pay during the government shutdown. Everett City Council has voted to extend its controversial no-sit, no-lie ordinance for another 2 years. The 5-2 vote came after the council heard public testimony from people both for and against the idea.
Well, here we are again discussing how to most effectively criminalize some of the most marginalized members of our community.
There's a belief that buffer zones are criminalizing people simply for existing in these areas. But when you look at the data, that's just not what's happening.
Ordinance creates buffer zones restricting sitting, lying, and aid distribution near service facilities through 2027. Governor Bob Ferguson has spent this past week at Western State Hospital. He was making good on a campaign promise.
I've had a chance to sit down each day with the workers, just conversation with the workers about their experiences, their challenges, what's working, what they'd like to see improve.
He says capacity at the hospital will improve in 2028. That's when a new 350-bed facility on the Western State Hospital campus is expected to open. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Still some heavy rain to get through in certain spots tonight. By tomorrow, though, the rain should start to taper off, and by the afternoon, it'll be dry, and then this weekend, dry with sun breaks. Right now, 56 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. This is the John Curley Show on KIRO News Radio.
Welcome back to the program. Tim Gatos, thanks so much for being with us on this glorious day in the Pacific Northwest. Last week in Washington, D.C., Senator Ted Cruz, he released a report detailing how the Biden administration weaponized the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and Infrastructure Security Agency to pressure social media companies into policing protected speech under the guise of quote-unquote safety and national security interests. I think we all saw this during COVID when the Biden administration pressured Facebook, Twitter, and others to suppress factual information. In fact, Senator Cruz is talking about introducing the Jawbone Act, the Justice Against Weaponized Bureaucratic Outreach to Network Expression. Here's a couple thoughts that he shared last week.
The right to speak out is the foundation of a free society. It gives everyone, whether a senator or a citizen, a contrarian or a comedian, the power to persuade and to hold government accountable. And that's why all of us need to defend and protect the most powerful weapon we have against the government's ability to censor its own citizens, the First Amendment. Earlier this month, I convened a hearing to examine how our own government, particularly the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, censored in secret, often through third parties. We heard the stories of Alex Berenson and Sean Davis, who were personally targeted by the Biden administration apparatchiks for opinions and facts they shared on COVID and election fraud. They not only suffered significant financial loss, but more importantly, they were silenced by their own government.
Alex Berenson was the tip of the spear during COVID, longtime New York Times reporter who brought data, rationality, and common sense to the COVID conversation. He was someone who I had the pleasure of speaking to a couple times during COVID and really was, as I said, the kind of tip of the spear, which means that the Biden administration had them on his target, even though he brought so many things to bear that help so many of us. Joining us right now is Alex Berenson. Alex, welcome to the program.
It's been a while, but it's great to be back on.
Yeah, appreciate talking with you. And again, I've always enjoyed your approach and what you've brought to the conversation, bringing, as I said, common sense to this conversation. What was it like to, be a part of now this new potential act called the Jawbone Act? And I know you presented as well in DC. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. Honestly, the hearing was great. Unfortunately, Senator Cruz was not there, which was too bad. He had some personal matter in Texas, which we only found out about that morning, because I think it would have gotten more attention in the hearing itself had he been there. But what was so disappointing about it was that the Democrats, and I honestly thought and think that this could be a bipartisan issue, right? Because, we should all be in favor of the First Amendment and giving people the right to speak and not having the government target specific texts or specific speakers. And that's true whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. You should be able to believe that.
Absolutely.
And yet the Democrats on the panel really just wanted to talk about Brendan Kirk and the FCC. And you know what? Like, if you want to ask me about that, I'm happy to answer. And I don't think that President Trump should be going after Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think it makes much sense. And I'm happy to say that. But let's talk about the whole picture, and let's talk about what the Biden administration did and ways to prevent that from happening again, whoever's in office. And the Democrats had no interest in that. And so, I really was disappointed because I thought, maybe there is actually a chance for once in a long time to have some bipartisan movement on this. And at a time when the First Amendment is under attack, we can all come together to defend it. But that is not what the Democrats wanted to do. And so, I'm less optimistic about this moving forward than I was, because it also seems to me, unfortunately, that there are people in the Trump administration who, despite their talk about wanting to protect people like me on X, they're not sort of truly philosophically committed to free speech in the way that I hope they were. Now, Ted Cruz is great on this. And one of the things I've loved actually is seeing him argue, with Tucker Carlson. I mean, he's really using X in a dynamic way. And I think it's very cool. But it is disappointing to me that our government and the lawmakers on both sides aren't as powerful or aren't as committed to this as I hope they'd be.
Well, you think they would have, in light of, especially on the Democrat side, and because you brought up Jimmy Kimmel, because when that happened with Jimmy, Democrats were like, obviously up in arms and like, this is the worst, abuse of the First Amendment that we've ever seen. I was like, let me introduce you to Alex Berenson.
That's right. Jimmy Kimmel was off for 4 days. I literally had to sue Twitter to get back on. And it was very, very, unusual that I was even able to do that. I had such good evidence. But yeah, I mean, why won't the Democrats stand up on this one? I don't know.
What's your theory?
I think, unfortunately, the left, for a long time has sort of been running from free speech because it's felt very powerful in terms of controlling academia, controlling the legacy media, controlling Hollywood. And so it hasn't even recognized, I think, its stranglehold on speech. And now that there is sort of a muscular group on the right that is pushing back, its first instinct was not to say, hey, we need to, fight back. Its first instinct was to say, let's strangle the social media. Let's get a stranglehold on that. And that's what it tried to do for years. Now that that's failed, maybe the left will consider, you know what, let's all just debate. But that has not been their first instinct for the last decade.
Now, for you, I mean, you were a Democrat for many years. I love talking to people who are obviously very wise and have data backing them up, who are pragmatic, but also objective. We actually were just talking on this program last hour with, I don't know if you remember the band Nirvana.
Of course.
We had Chris Novoselic with us. Sorry, Nate, I keep butchering that name. And the bassist who was and we talked his story, who was part of the Democrat Party for forever and then got so disenfranchised, he actually started a new party here in the state of Washington called the Cascade Party. And I think it's really interesting because I think we can become so beholden to labels and to things that bind us. But for people like Chris and like you who have, and myself as well, who have kind of broken off these labels and just want to think with an independent mind, a pragmatic mind with common sense. What do you see as someone who, has been part of the Democrat Party for a number of years, and now you kind of have a different perspective about what's happening in our nation, in our country? You look at what's happening with Republicans. Obviously, they didn't have a great day on Tuesday. But you kind of view that through a lens that is, I think, a little more objective than others. How do you view the current status right now?
I mean, it's interesting because I've been writing. I have this Substack on Reported Truth, and one of the great things about it is I hear from a lot of readers. My readers are super engaged. It's a lot of people who found me during COVID, and we have this bond together. And so I hear from them, and I was writing about the election, and obviously, it was mostly on the East Coast, but the Republicans didn't have a great day, and part of that I think is culturally. I think that Americans don't want a king, and I think Donald Trump should stop talking about running for a third term, and he should stop talking about sending active duty military into American cities. There's reasons we have laws against that, and however bad it might be. In Chicago, it's not an insurrection, right? So he should stop doing that. But there's obviously a bigger issue, right? And I've heard from a lot of readers in the last 48 hours that even though the economy seems pretty good, right? Unemployment's low, the stock market is good, the economy is growing. People feel really, really economically stressed. Middle class people, they feel really squeezed by healthcare costs. They feel really squeezed by housing costs, and they don't understand exactly why when when there are people making billions and billions of dollars, why they're not getting a little bit more of that, why they don't feel a little bit better about that. And this is not people who don't want to work. This is people who are working, right? Who are hardworking.
Yeah.
And so Donald Trump came in and said, I'm going to fight for you and I'm going to fix inflation. And maybe he overpromised on that, but I think there's a lot of feeling, among middle-class people that where is the fight on that? Why does it feel like we're still so squeezed? Now, it's only been a few months, but I do think that, like, you're seeing populism on the right, you're seeing populism on the left. People are feeling squeezed.
Yeah. It's interesting. Trump, I wish he would just be a little more strategic with his planning and just tell us exactly, okay, here's what the plan is. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I want to go and do. Obviously, let's say with the tariffs, right? He's got something why he's doing that, but he just doesn't communicate X, Y, and Z and say, hey, here's kind of the end game for tariffs. Yep. Here's the end game for this. I think if he did that more, I think people would be like, okay, I can maybe endure what you're trying to do because you've got some sort of plan. But because he doesn't communicate like that, we're left to kind of guessing like what the plan is with tariffs.
Yep. I mean, that's a great example, right? Like, the tariffs have been up, they've been down, they've been because of fentanyl, they've been because, he doesn't like what's happening to the, former president of Brazil. It's like, you're right. He probably does have some idea what he's trying to do, but he hasn't articulated it that clearly. And I think, if all you want to do is buy a car, this year or next year, you may be seeing a price increase because of the tariffs, and you're probably not too happy about it.
Yeah,
I think there's unfortunately there's a real if you were smart enough or lucky enough to buy, let's say, Nvidia or Bitcoin 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you've done incredibly well. You may be wealthy just from that, right? But if you're trying to buy your first house, if you're seeing your health insurance premiums go up 10% a year, the last couple of years and more to come, it's hard to feel really good about the economy and where you are. And so I do think, look, there's always going to be a divide between rich and poor, but it does feel like it's reaching some kind of breaking point for a lot. At least that's how a lot of people seem to feel.
Well, you're out in New York, and obviously Zohran Mamdani is going to be the new New York City mayor. A lot of people say this is just kind of you talked about populism, right? You got populism on the right, and then you've got it on the left. What do you make of this? Some people say, well, it's just kind of a distress signal because, to your point, Trump isn't really tackling the affordability issues, especially for young people, that they want him to do. So they're gonna try anything they can to kind of disrupt what's happening now.
Yeah, and it's obviously not going to work, right? We know that, like, city-owned grocery stores are not going to work. We know that making stuff free doesn't actually make it free. It just means somebody else is paying for it. And, there are a lot of people in New York who, they're desperate enough to take a chance on this, even though, it seems foolish to me, and I'm sure it seems foolish to you too, but it clearly, this leftist populism is coming, right? I think it came first on the right. Why did it come first on the right? Because there was a cultural component to it too, where people felt very talked down to by Hollywood and places like the place where I used to work, the New York Times. But now the economic issues are pushing to the front, right? And that's happening on both the left and the right, I think.
With Mamdani, do you think the image that came to me recently was this? Do you remember the old Peter Pan song way back in the day? Do you remember this? Never smile at a crocodile.
Smile at a crocodile.
Do you remember that?
I do not, but okay.
Okay. So the line in that, it's from Peter Pan, and it says, "Don't be taken in by his welcome grin." Because you're just going to get eaten, right? Is there any truth to that with Mamdani? He's got a nice smile, but should we not be taken in by his welcome grin?
I think so. I think you've already seen some evidence of this, right? With the speech he gave on election night where, he basically, and he talked to the New York Times yesterday and he sort of dropped the mask and said, yeah, taxes are going up. Yeah, I'm going to do all the stuff that I kind of soft pedaled. I believe in that stuff. So, he's a real, I don't know whether you call him socialist or democratic socialist. He wants free stuff for the poor. He wants to tax the rich. He believes that's what he was elected to do. In terms of like decriminalizing, on the public safety stuff, it seems even crazier to me because I know that's been tried in places like Seattle and San Francisco. It's worked not at all. It's caused huge problems. So, I think, he was high energy, is high energy. He's he's certainly not Andrew Cuomo, and people liked that, and they liked the fact that he was, going all over the city, which is a huge city, and wasn't just sort of in the Manhattan power centers like Cuomo was. But yeah, you're right. Like we're going to find out what kind of crocodile he really is.
We've been talking to Alex Berenson, longtime New York Times reporter and one of the most important sane voices during the COVID era. You want to check out his Substack because he puts out some incredible, thoughtful articles. Where can people find you on Substack, Alex?
Sure. It's called Unreported Truths, and it's on Substack, which obviously is sort of an important independent newsletter platform. And I write a lot. I don't always get it right, but if I get it wrong, I try to acknowledge that because I think that's an important thing to do, and I think it's something we don't do enough as a country. I live north of New York City. I live near West Point, and I was over there today with a special forces officer actually who'd invited me to come because he's a reader of Unreported Truths, and he's in town for his alumni. It's been a few years since he graduated. So anyway, we're walking around, and I saw the sort of the famous a cadet will not lie, cheat, or steal, and will not hide. If someone does that, like will not, and that's not the exact wording. I wish I had, but it's essentially that. It's we're not going to dishonor ourselves by lying, cheating, or stealing, and we're not going to let other cadets do that. And I think we could use a little more of that in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Alex Berenson, hey, really appreciate you joining us today. Check him out on Substack. Thanks for being with us, Alex.
Thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll do it again before 5 years goes by.
Let's do it. All right. Thanks, Alex. Hey, let's check in with Nate at the Real-Time Traffic Desk. Tim Gatos here for John Curley.
All right, thanks, Tim. The Emerald Queen Casino has the update, and boy, it's a rough commute. Let's start you at the Hood Canal Bridge. We have got a head-on collision mid-span right now, blocking all lanes in both directions. No estimated time to reopen. I can tell you this, State Patrol has said this is going to be a long-term closure. Seattle to Everett is up to an hour 20 minutes. Bellevue to Everett, also an hour 20. Everett to Seattle, also an hour 20 minutes. Pretty solid from South Everett into Linwood, and then you're packed from Northgate all the way to the West Seattle Bridge. We did clear that earlier stall near Mercer, but that's really not helping out much at all. Southbound 99 heavy from Green Lake down to East Marginal at the south end of the Aurora Bridge. That right lane remains blocked by a down tree. Bellevue to South Center is improved to 40 minutes. You're packed at Northeast 70th in Kirkland all the way down to the VMAC, and South 5 heading into Tacoma is packed in Federal Way about South 320th all the way down to State Route 16. Comedian Tom Segura is back November 29th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for another night of nonstop laughs only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. The man accused in a decades-old cold case murder in Seattle has now been formally charged. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch is following the case. He has the updates.
57-year-old Mark Anthony Russ is now charged with first-degree murder with sexual motivation. He is a man with a violent criminal past, and he is an unregistered sex offender. Prosecutors say DNA connects him to the brutal murder of 14-year-old Tanya Frazier in 1994. She was stabbed to death. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office.
His history of violent behavior, his history of not following court orders is what made the prosecutor's office go to court and say, we think he should be held without bail.
Russ faces what amounts to a life sentence if convicted. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
FBI has arrested a 19-year-old Kent man in connection with a foiled ISIS-inspired terror plot in Michigan. Saeed Ali Mirah is the 8th suspect charged in the alleged plan targeting Halloween weekend. Alina Haba is the acting U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey.
Along with other co-conspirators, used encrypted messaging applications to plan travel to Turkey and then to Syria to join ISIS as fighters.
Prosecutors claim Mirah was in communication with a group that scouted bars and an amusement park for possible attacks. No criminal charges for Boeing over 2 crashes that killed 346 people. A federal judge today dismissed that criminal case. Attorney Mark Lindquist represented many of the victims' families.
A lot of the victim families feel like there hasn't been full accountability because there hasn't been.
Boeing struck a deal with the Justice Department back in May to pay steep fines and to step up quality, but there will be no independent monitor to watch Boeing production. Intel is suing a software engineer from Seattle that it fired. The company says he stole some of their top secret files.
Bay Area News Group reports, according to Intel's lawsuit, which was filed here in Washington, the company put him on notice this past July that he was about to be fired. It's not clear why, but the company had said earlier in a regulatory filing it planned to cut its workforce this year. The suit says the first time he tried to steal files, he failed. But a few days later, he used more sophisticated tech and was able to download nearly 18,000 files, including some labeled top secret. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And that worker could not be reached for comment. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, it is so busy out there, and we've got a traffic alert to add to this at the Hood Canal Bridge. You can't access the bridge right now. We've got a head-on collision mid-span. All lanes are blocked in both directions. This will be a long-term closure. Seattle to Everett, an hour 20 minutes. You're thick from the U District through Linwood. Bellevue to Everett, the same, hour 20. It's solid from 520 all the way to that Alderwood interchange. Everett to Seattle, an hour 20 minutes. We're slow from South Everett, starting at the Boeing Freeway, all the way in through Linwood, and then you're packed from Northgate all the way down to the West Seattle Bridge. All just volume here. Southbound 99 is packed from Green Lake onto East Marginal. At the south end of the Aurora Bridge, that right lane is still blocked by a downed tree. Crossing the lake from Bellevue is now a 1-hour trip on 520, mostly due to drivers stuck right there at the I-5 interchange because I-5 is packed. So right now, 520 westbound is backed up from 405. It's a 45-minute trip on I-90. You're packed from Bellevue Way across Mercer Island. Once you reach the lake, you'll begin to thin out. And then Federal Way to Tacoma, give yourself a half hour. Heavy volumes between State Route 18 and State Route 16. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Well, still some pockets out there with heavy rain. It'll stay breezy tonight. Fewer showers overnight, becoming quieter as we move into Friday. Dry for the weekend. Highs will be in the mid-50s. Right now, 53 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs. Tim Gato is back in for John Curley today, and I tell you, it's been just a great time, and I'm sure you're staying dry out there. It is dumping. I tell you, Joey, anybody call you Joey ever?
Not since I was a teenager. Every once in a while.
I tell you, we got the big dump of election ballots. Katie Wilson gaining on Bruce Harrell. This is going to be a tight one, Joe. It's going to come down. This could be in the hundreds because right now Bruce's lead had dropped from 8 points to 5.7. There's still about 110,000 ballots left to count over the next week. And by the way, can you answer me why we wait so long to do this? I just don't understand it. Is there what's the rhyme and the reason for just sitting around for a week to find out when literally just somebody could do it right now?
It adds to the drama.
Is that why?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
My goodness sakes. Yeah. Maybe our next guest can just help us understand why that's the case. John Scholes, president of the Downtown Seattle Association, is with us to help us understand what just happened with this election, though we don't know what happened, and we won't know what happened for a while, but at least we're at halftime right now. So this is like our halftime speech. John, what's up, man?
How are you, Tim? Good to be with you.
Good to be with you. Are you doing okay, man? Like, we used to talk and hang out, and now it's like, where are you nowadays? Are you? I was wondering if you're.
Where are you? I know. Where are you?
Where are you?
Where have you been?
So this
you
is.
You know where to find me. I'm right downtown. I'm always here.
So this is our halftime speech of the election because we're still in the middle of it. What do you make of what happened so far?
Well, the Tip O'Neill, famous line of all politics is local, certainly is getting tested here, where local politics have sort of got nationalized by the national dynamics that have shifted since November of last year, and certainly affected, I think, the electorate here in Seattle and elsewhere who are hiring people and looking at re-elections or the elections of new folks that are in charge of, basic municipal services, but perhaps they're filling those ballots out with other things on their mind. And so I think it's a tough environment to be an incumbent when people are grumpy and unhappy and agitated. And that's what we've got in Seattle. And so we'll see how the next couple of days pan out with the additional ballots that are out. But tough place to be an incumbent. And local elections and local politics that in a lot of ways got nationalized. But, the final thing I'd say is at the end of the day, all politics may not be local right now, but governance is. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to be successful, whether you're a mayor, a council member, city attorney, a county executive, voters will hold you accountable to the results that affect their lives each and every day. So there's no getting away from that.
Well, but here's the thing, John.
A lot.
But here's the thing. Sarah Nelson was, in my opinion, I think anyone who's just objective would say, you know what? She did a good job, right? Like she did a good job. And yet she's, the
numbers certainly show that. Yeah, the numbers certainly show that. A lower crime and fewer attempts throughout our city, more people downtown, a ton of progress. And maybe in some ways, voters are forgetting what things were like 3-4 years ago.
Help me understand this, John. And I don't want to indict, impugn, offend anyone with this comment I'm about to make, but it kind of goes to your kind of national local thing. It's like I guess I just don't understand and get why we'd say, you know what, I don't like Trump. I don't like what's happening in DC and but you know what, I'm gonna because of that. I'm going to go ahead and vote for someone who probably has basically, no experience, probably is going to take us back to 4 years ago, who promoted defund the police, who doesn't have answers for, homelessness or camping in parks, those kind of things. But because I'm going to stick it to Trump, so I'm going to vote for this person. To me, that there's some. Again, I don't want to say anything that's like inflammatory, but there's a sense of kind of superficiality to that when it's like the issues that I face in my neighborhood in Seattle, Trump really has no bearing over all the issues that my Lake City neighborhood is facing. And yet I'm going to vote locally based on some things I'm upset about nationally. To me, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we have local government, and whether it's a city or a county or a school district or a transit agency for specific reasons and purposes, and they've got specific responsibilities and obligations, and we hire people to run them. And those are things that, affect small business and our kids at school and our neighbors and us and our ability to move around a city or open a business or shop at a business, feel safe, et cetera. So, the folks leading these entities and their ideas and their ability to deliver matter. And I'm not sure exactly sort of what drove and is driving a lot of the attitudes and perspectives of voters and how they're filling out their ballot. I think the issue of affordability clearly is more central than it was a year or two ago. Now the trouble though is you've got some folks with ideas that are going to make it worse. And we've got one of the highest minimum wages in the country. We have some of the highest business taxes that we've ever had in this city. We have a tax on Uber. We have a tax on soda. I mean, we've done a lot of the things. We tripled the housing levy. We've done the things that some on the far left have suggested would be helpful in that regard. Yet we still have a significant issue with affordability in Seattle. So it seems to me that folks proposing those policy solutions that have now been implemented sort of have to answer for, well, why haven't they made our city more affordable?
Yeah. And on that point, John, why do you think there's not more people? I don't see any movement or fire in the belly of kind of your just Seattle voters and in general when it comes to, let's say, the information that's coming out of King County, right, with the fraud and the waste and abuse in just a small portion that's been audited. The King County auditor came out last week and said, I'm deeply disturbed and concerned that King County, the council members, executive, aren't actually taking this seriously and doing more about this, because we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. If affordability is really the issue it is, why wouldn't people in Seattle really stand up and say, hey, that's an affordability issue when you have hundreds of millions of dollars of waste and fraud, right?
I totally agree. I mean, whether it's the city or the county or the state, they're collecting more in taxpayer dollars from residents and businesses than ever before. And I'm not sure we're all getting the results we'd like to see. So, the tax structure and the amount of taxes certainly is an impact to affordability. And whether you're a business or a resident in this city, region, or state, and we deserve better. And and it's been concerning to see some of those stories and audits come out of the county of late. And the audit itself wasn't even right. Right? I mean, they got one of the significant number wrong, and that number went in front of a bunch of different people before it was published, but nobody caught it. So the audit itself was incorrect in certain ways. Now they came back and corrected, and the underlying premise and findings were still accurate. But we deserve better.
Man, I shudder to think about what we don't even know that's happening in terms of just waste in our state and county. My goodness. John Scholes, president of the Downtown Seattle Association. Hey, appreciate you joining us. Thanks for taking the time.
Good to be with you, Tim. Come find me downtown.
All right, I will. Take care. Hey, Tim Gatos in for John Curley. I'll toss it over to Nate at the real-time traffic desk. What's up, Nate?
Well, let's start with our Hood Canal Bridge closure, that is. We've got a head-on collision mid-span, so all lanes are blocked in both directions. This just went down about a half hour ago. State Patrol says this is going to be a long-term closure, so you've got big detours to try to work through this evening. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both hour 15. Everett to Seattle, hour 25 minutes. Southbound 99 still heavy from Green Lake all the way on to East Marginal Way. Crossing the lake from Bellevue is a 1-hour trip on 520, 45 minutes on I-90, and right now Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway will take you 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Stacey Rost here from Seattle Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of. And then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, prescriptions. But imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate, noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle, yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target problem areas: waistline, face, neck, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. For your free consultation and $250 off, visit ProSculpt.com for powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men. It's ProSculpt.com.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
Skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Costco, Hagen's, or Whole Foods. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
For 24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas, and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building, with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Welcome back to the program. It's the John Curley Show. Tim Gatos in for John. And man, we've had a great program today. Action-packed. But you know,
Yes-packed.
It is that time that we start a little manhunt. Just a little manhunt for who is this? Who are we looking for, Joe?
We're looking for the mailman. Or
I'm a
Hudson.
mailman.
All right, cut him off. We're out of time.
All right.
You want me to start us off?
Do it.
All right, off topic. Fernando in Seattle says, I thought I hated the Wilcox wheel, but I kind of missed it today. I don't know if you ever experienced that, Tim, but we'll bring it back next time.
Yeah. Election updates burying Seattle. Tim, the working class is struggling, doesn't want a city owned by lobbyists and Amazon. How is that not local? Oh, well, I tell you, I mean, come up to my neighborhood and see what we're experiencing and dealing with. And I tell you.
Lake City. On Chris Novacelic. Did I get that right, Nate?
Selich.
Okay. Gary in the 360 says, Chris is a kindred spirit. I'm always looking for anti-establishment candidates to vote for.
Benny, the tugboat expert. I used to live in the apartments across the street from Nirvana's first concert in Tacoma at 56th and M.
360 says, Chris for governor, period.
Yeah. Ben from Mercer Island. Howdy, Chris. I love you, man. What happened to your weird black Gibson bass?
Should have asked him. 253 says, looks like Dave Ross's Crusaders for Common Sense wore off on Chris.
Gina in Chimicum. Now we need instant runoff voting. Looking forward to hearing more on the Cascade Party, hoping it proves viable.
On homelessness emergency anniversary, Dave in the 253 says, where has homelessness been reversed or eradicated? Whether other states or outside the USA to use as benchmarks.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Letter of the day, Andrew in the 509. What the hell, King County elections? Over 40% voter turnout, 3 days to count. Under 20% voter turnout, 3 days to count. What are we doing here?
Great question.
What are we doing here? Well, Joe, Andrew, Nate, Sophia, Aaron, it's been a pleasure.
And Ian.
Always a pleasure.
Andy.
And Ian.
Ian.
Yeah.
What's up, Ian?
He's playing the part of Andy.
I'm
and
Andrew today.
Oh, okay. I'm just so used to,
I know. We messed with you today.
I know.
We're like, hey, Tim's coming in. Let's just mess with him.
Hey, I appreciate that, Nate.
Yeah.
That actually that means a lot.
Well, I missed you, man.
I know, miss you, bro.
Are you here tomorrow? Can we mess with you again?
I wish. Maybe another time.
All
but
right.
Hey, Godspeed, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being with us today, and look forward to talking with you again. Have a good night.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Didn't write no more.
Didn't write no more.
She left the gloom hanging round my front door.
All right, the Seattle International Auto Show has our update. It is a nasty drive out there, and we've got a closure of the Hood Canal Bridge today due to a head-on collision. It happened about 40 minutes ago. All lanes blocked in both directions. State Patrol says this is going to be a long-term closure. Seattle to Everett and Bellevue to Everett are both hour 15-minute commutes. Everett to Seattle, hour 25 minutes. You're slow from South Everett through Linwood, and then you're just barely crawling from Northgate all the way down to the West Seattle Bridge still. Nothing blocking this, just this volume and wet weather. Southbound 99 is heavy from Green Lake all the way down to East Marginal Way. At the south end of the Aurora Bridge, that right lane is still blocked from a downed tree. And crossing the lake from Bellevue is a 1-hour trip on 520, mostly due to drivers stuck right there at the I-5 interchange. You're backed up to 405. 45 minutes on I-90. You're backed up from Bellevue Way across Mercer Island. Once you hit the lake, though, you're going to start to thin out. See them, touch them, drive them at the Seattle International Auto Show presented by BECU. Lumen Field Event Center, November 14 through 16. Discover your drive, seattleautoshow.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, this past week was a wet and wild one out on the water. The T-99 and 137 families of Biggs orcas continued their hunting in the Sound. But whale watchers were especially excited to spend time with members of the T251, 252, and 253 families who return like clockwork each year around Halloween. Such amazing timekeepers. Humpbacks are still present in sizable numbers as well, finishing their feeding before resuming their Pacific Ocean journeys. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers guaranteed whale-watching tours departing from Edmonds, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend. Don't miss out on your chance to see orcas and humpbacks in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
If your closets are bursting at the seams like the Curley household, it's time to call the pros at Closets by Design Seattle. Every job is completely custom. Free in-home design consultation. Right now, they're offering big savings up to 40% off, plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing and free installation. You're getting the quality and backing of a national brand, but with friendly local Seattle service. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule your free in-home design consultation today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Guys, it's time to know your numbers and what they mean. And right now, Revive Men's Health is offering a $400 comprehensive wellness panel for just $99. Free if you start treatment. Offer ends November 30th. Book today at revivemenshealth.com. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO.